This poor girl has been through 10 relationships. However, each time she was betrayed by her boyfriend. Even so, the girl still has a strong belief in herself that in love she is not a loser but a pitiful victim. So she is determined to spend time conquering the peak of love. After many years of diligent research, the girl finally discovered an important truth. Every person is born with a partner who is prearranged by fate. This partner is not only compatible in personality and interests, but also their DNA is compatible. If you want to find your destiny, the only thing you need to do is decode your DNA. After analyzing the DNA, Sojin discovered that her partner is a tall man. Not only that, he also has outstanding features such as double eyelids and thick, silky hair. However, he is very hot-tempered. Sojin enthusiastically introduced her new research. She believed that as long as she could decode her own DNA, no one in this world would have to suffer because of love anymore. At this moment, the door to the hall suddenly opened before everyone's surprised eyes. A man, holding a large bouquet of flowers, calmly walked in. Looking at the man in front of her, Sojin knew he was the destiny of her life. However, no matter how hard she tried, she could not see the man's face clearly. At this moment, Sojin suddenly woke up from her dream. It turned out that everything that had just happened was just a beautiful dream of hers. However, thanks to this dream, she found the answer to her love life. Sojin realized that she was about to be late for her date with her current lover. She hurried to the appointed place to meet her lover. She immediately took out a bottle of hair growth stimulant and showed it to him. She said that this potion was the result of many days of testing and research. Although it looked simple on the outside, its effect on people with hair loss was amazing. With just one spray, a bald person would have thick, smooth hair. Sojin secretly felt proud of her boyfriend because he had a girlfriend who specialized in genetic research like her. It was really convenient for him to have such a girlfriend. However, Sojin's pride was met with her boyfriend's indifference. While she was still talking endlessly about interesting things in her research, he suddenly said goodbye. He had to admit that Sojin had never been his ideal type of girlfriend. Moreover, she always talked about technical terms like DNA or genetic code. This made him feel bored. Moreover, Sojin always collects strange things like hair, tissues, nose wipes, and even earwax from him for DNA research. Ever since he fell in love with someone with a strange personality like Sojin, he has not been able to go to the bathroom normally. In his eyes, Sojin is not like a girlfriend, but more like a nuisance. Although her boyfriend kept blaming Sojin, she calmly explained that all she did was to find out the compatibility in their genetic code. Hearing this, her mean boyfriend immediately mocked Sojin, saying that if she wanted to know if the two of them were compatible, she could go see a fortune teller or a horoscope. In the end, he still decided to say goodbye despite Sojin's constant clinging. Putting aside her pride, Sojin held the bottle of hair growth medicine and kept begging him not to leave. She had worked hard for a long time to create this bottle of medicine, but the boyfriend continued to tease Sojin. He said that he would love a girl who always complimented him, even though he had little hair. Meanwhile, she was only trying to research hair growth medicine for him, so she was just the person he used to love. After saying that, he turned around and left. Only Sojin sat there shocked with the hair growth medicine. Sojin could not bear this shock, so she immediately stood up and ran after her ex-boyfriend. She scolded him for being heartless. She had tried so hard to please him and his family, but now he chose to leave her for another girl. She felt that she was being treated unfairly. In a nearby car, Yeonwoo witnessed the argument between the two. Since he was free, Yeonwoo took the opportunity to enjoy the reality show in front of him. Yeonwoo was a man who was not only attractive in appearance but also rich. Because he is the son of the director of a large hospital, the number of girlfriends he had in the past can be said to be countless. However, no girl has been able to successfully get his sincere love. Yeonwoo is a decisive person. If he feels happy, he will continue to love, but if he feels unhappy, he will definitely say goodbye to the other person. Moreover, he extremely hates being tied down or held back. Therefore, no girl can change his decision. That night, after Yeonwoo learned that his girlfriend was having fun with friends at the bar, he personally went to pick her up. However, instead of going inside, he chose to wait outside. He decided to stand here and wait for his girlfriend for 30 minutes. If after this period of time she did not come out, he would leave directly. At this moment, in front of Yeonwoo was the pitiful girl Sojin, who was suffering because of love. She was crying so hard that she didn't notice the car that was about to hit her. So Yeonwoo turned on the flashing lights to warn her. 30 minutes had passed and his girlfriend still hadn't come out, so he decided to drive away. While the car passed Sojin, Yeonwoo didn't forget to criticize her in the car. He thought she was too absent-minded. Early the next morning, while Yeonwoo was on his way to the hospital, he suddenly received a phone call from his girlfriend. Because he had left her at the bar last night, she now wanted him to make up for the pain she had suffered. She wanted him to come see her at all costs. To his lover's annoyance, Yeonwoo decisively decided to break up. In just 30 seconds, the two people who used to see each other as nothing would become strangers. After 30 seconds, he would hang up and then they would officially break up. As expected, expected, Yeonwoo decisively hung up. He ignored his girlfriend, who was still surprised and confused. Yeonwoo had just arrived at the hospital when he happily accepted a cup of coffee from the beautiful nurse. As a doctor, Yeonwoo constantly flirted with his female colleagues. Although both Sojin and Yeonwoo had just broken up with their lovers, their mental states were very different. After Sojin was dumped by her lover, she felt like she couldn't eat or sleep well. However, she still had a strong belief that the two of them would definitely get back together, because according to Sojin's research, their genes were perfectly compatible. Maybe he would get to know other girls, but somehow he would break up with them to come back to her. While Sojin was drowning in sorrow, the female colleague next to her suddenly screamed. Thanks to the gene report, the female colleague discovered that Sojin's ex-lover's genes contained the genes of a playboy. What surprised everyone more was that all of Sojin's ex-lovers carried this gene code. From the gene code analysis, it can be seen that Sojin was always attracted to playboy men. After Sojin received such a big shock, she immediately went to the bar to relieve her mood. At the same time, Yeonwoo's ex-girlfriend was also heartbroken, so she also went to this bar to drink. Sitting in the bar, she kept scolding Yeonwoo for being a bad man. In her drunken state, Sojin wanted to help Yeonwoo's ex-girlfriend get justice, so she dragged her drunk friend to find Yeonwoo. So 3 women came to his house. Yeonwoo was sitting and assembling a picture when he was disturbed by them. When he opened the door, he saw some drunk people. This made him even more upset. Yeonwoo's ex-girlfriend threw herself into his arms and cried, begging him to come back to her. Meanwhile, Sojin was so drunk that she couldn't even get into the house. Only one of her legs was hanging across the door. Then she tried to gather her strength to enter the house. Yeonwoo pushed his ex-girlfriend away, and he bluntly said that he didn't like girls who were spoiled, but she confessed that he was her destiny, so she couldn't live without him. But Yeonwoo replied that he didn't believe in destiny, because only people who lacked confidence would use that as an excuse. Yeonwoo's words made Sojin, who believed in destiny, angry. She took off the chopsticks in her hair and accused Yeonwoo of being a womanizer who didn't know how to love sincerely. That's why he broke up so easily, and she thought that someone like him didn't deserve love. After saying that, she threw the chopsticks away. Then she took out a bottle of hair growth medicine and rushed at Yeonwoo. She loudly cursed him to turn into an ugly person. Yeonwoo suddenly bumped into the table and knocked over the mosaic, but he still couldn't escape. Sojin's hair growth medicine spray. A cold feeling immediately spread across his face. Sojin's friend hurriedly dragged her out of the house. After the 3 girls left, Yeonwoo immediately washed off the unknown liquid on his face. Then he picked up Sojin's hair growth medicine bottle and smelled it. But he didn't smell anything unusual, so he guessed that there were no toxic chemicals. Next, he picked up Sojin's shoe and put it in a plastic bag, hoping he would never see that crazy girl again. The next morning, Sojin woke up with amnesia. She only remembered that her friend dragged her into the elevator. She had completely forgotten everything. However, her friend reminded her of yesterday's incident. She remembered that she had sprayed hair growth medicine on Yeonwoo's face. As for Yeonwoo, his situation got worse and worse when he discovered the horrifying truth. The hair on his temples had just been shaved the day before, but the next day, it had grown back into a thick beard, especially the side that had been sprayed with the medicine. This made him certain that the culprit was Mumber. Sojin's hair growth medicine. Sojin was completely unaware of this. She accidentally caught her ex-boyfriend and his co-worker together. Only then did she realize that she had been betrayed. However, her ex-boyfriend blamed her for her genetic theory, forcing her previous boyfriends to cheat. Sojin angrily told him that his problem was not simply hair loss, but that he had a hair loss gene. She warned that within the next 3 years, all his hair would fall out. He would never grow it back. Moreover, his children would also inherit this hair loss. Not only that, he also faced the risk of getting prostate cancer due to his genes. The possibility of developing the disease after the age of 40 was very high. The symptoms were not yet obvious, but over time, he would have to face everything she had said. Hearing that, he was so angry that he wanted to hit Sojin, but luckily, her childhood best friend Kan-hoon appeared in time and restrained him. Kan-hoon then took Sojin to his restaurant for a meal. At the same time, he advised her that from now on, if she wanted to love someone, she had to let him check first. If he said that person was not okay, she absolutely could not continue the relationship. This was to avoid her being hurt again. At the same time, Yeonwoo woke up in a panic when he realized that his sideburns were getting thicker. Just like Sojin's curse, his sideburns had grown into a beard. Yeonwoo could not stand this ugly beard. When he got to work, he tried to hide his beard and avoid meeting other people. Then he quickly closed the office door and shaved off all the beard on his face. He realized that to completely solve the problem, he had to find Sojin. However, he did not know where to find her. Then fate arranged for them to meet again. Sojin received a message from her superior asking her to attend a meeting with the doctor who was collaborating with Project. When she entered the hall, she could not believe that the doctor was Yeonwoo. As soon as they met, she tried to avoid his eyes, but Yeonwoo recognized Sojin the the moment she entered, he was afraid that she would not admit what she had done, so he decided to pretend not to recognize her. He planned to wait until he had enough evidence before exposing her actions. Sojin saw that Yeonwoo had no intention of blaming her, so she thought that he did not recognize her as the crazy woman that night. So she started to probe about the beard growing on his face. She asked if anyone in his family had hirsutism. When Yeonwoo was at a loss for an answer, a group of people came down the stairs. Unfortunately, they got between Sojin and Yeonwoo, so the two heard them talking about hair growth. Yeonwoo became extremely sensitive. He immediately asked what they were researching. Sojin explained that they were researching a hair growth essence customized to DNA. Clinical experiments showed that this water was surprisingly effective. After only 7 hours, mice had grown thick fur like rabbits. Yeonwoo immediately felt panic. He couldn't wait any longer and asked about the effects of this product when used on humans. Sojin said that not only hair, but other types of hair on the body could grow thickly. After hearing that, Yeonwoo felt hopeless, but still tried to smile awkwardly. He told himself that with modern technology, hair removal would definitely not be difficult. Moreover, it was just a little hair on one side of his face. After talking about hair, the two returned to the main topic. Yeonwoo started talking about the case of a pregnant woman named Jin Kyung in his hospital. This woman was found to have a chromosomal abnormality, so there was a high chance that the child in her womb would not survive before birth. Even if the child could be born, the survival rate was very low. If it did survive, the child would be deformed. Yeonwoo said that he would advise Jin Kyung to have surgery to remove the child. Hearing this, Sojin suddenly remembered a similar case she had encountered before. The child only lived for 1 day, but the parents still held a birthday party for the child. The parents shared that even though they only had 1 day to see their child, they did not regret their decision to give birth. Yeonwoo heard the hidden meaning in Sojin's words, but he emphasized that in this case, there was not only a problem with the fetus, but the mother, Jin Kyung, also had pulmonary hypertension. As an obstetrician, he always put the health of the mother first. Sojin felt confused because she thought that for some people, the moment of meeting their children was more precious than anything else in the world. However, Yeonwoo still maintained the opinion that when it came to life, doctors should not let their emotions control them. The most important thing a doctor needed to do right now was to ensure the safety of the mother. Before leaving, Yeonwoo wanted to continue discussing with Sojin, so he asked for her contact number. After work, Sojin took out her favorite perfume and let the dog smell it. Then she told the dog to find a man who smelled like that. She wanted to find a partner with suitable genes. Then the dog stopped next to a man. From behind, he looked quite handsome. While Sojin was happy, the man turned around. Their eyes met and her hope immediately vanished. That person was none other than her childhood best friend. Sojin approached to smell Kanhoon, but she could not smell anything. Before saying goodbye, Kanhoon gave Sojin an alarm. As long as Sojin pressed the button, Kanhoon would receive a distress signal from her. Sojin was deeply touched by Kanhoon's concern. She knew that he was someone who could risk his life for her, but unfortunately, he treated everyone well. At this time, Yeonwoo informed the pregnant woman about her health condition. If Jin Kyung continued to carry the pregnancy, her pulmonary hypertension could be life-threatening. Even if the child was born, chance of survival was very small. The mother was also at risk of losing her life. After thinking for a while, Jin Kyung asked Yeonwoo what she should do. Yeonwoo replied that she needed to make her own decisions about her life. However, he also added that he did not want her to make a decision that could put both her and the child in danger. Later, Yeonwoo met an old acquaintance in the hospital parking lot. Mihan had just returned from abroad. The two hugged and chatted happily. It seemed that Mihan really wanted to be Yeonwoo's girlfriend. After the hug, Mihan discovered that his sideburns had grown a lot of hair. He quickly covered his face and ran into the car. When he got home, Yeonwoo looked in the mirror and saw his new beard. He angrily called Sojin right away. When Sojin saw Yeonwoo's name on the screen, she immediately imagined him questioning her with a bearded face. Finally, she mustered up the courage to pick up the phone. At this point, Yeonwoo couldn't stand it anymore. He frankly said that Sojin's super hair growth water had mutated his genes. Then he asked her to come to the hospital tomorrow. He wanted her to explain why he had so much hair. The next day, when Sojin went to the hospital, Yeonwoo immediately gave her back the bottle of hair growth liquid. Sojin argued that she had a sleep behavior disorder. She had rapid eye movements since she was young and sometimes unconsciously followed what happened in her dreams. She even pretended that she didn't understand why Yeonwoo accidentally got her hair growth liquid on her. He noticed that she still hadn't admitted her mistake, so he showed her the shoe she left at her house that night. He proved that she was the reason why he grew a beard. Sojin couldn't deny it, so she asked him to take off his mask. Although Yeonwoo felt very uncomfortable, he still showed Sojin his beard. Unexpectedly, Sojin reached up to touch his beard to feel its softness. When Sojin looked at Yeonwoo more closely, she began to have strange feelings. Then Yeonwoo showed 2 beard samples, including a normal beard and a mutated irritated beard. He asked her to quickly find a solution to his problem. Sojin started to apologize. She apologized for her rude behavior that turned Yeonwoo into a bearded man. She looked at him like he was a replica of the King of Rock, Elvis. After apologizing, Sojin excitedly took out the tools to collect Yeonwoo's genetic sample. At this moment, she suddenly approached Yeonwoo. For some reason, Yeonwoo felt the air around him getting hotter, so he urged Sojin to quickly finish the job. Sojin went to open the window to lower the temperature, but she couldn't open her neck. At that moment, Yeonwoo grabbed Sojin's hand and helped her open the window easily. Sojin looked at Yeonwoo standing next to her, and her heart suddenly started to beat faster. She couldn't take her eyes off him. However, at this moment, Yeonwoo said some extremely harsh words. He coldly asked her to find a solution within 24 hours. If by 8 o'clock tomorrow evening she still didn't have an answer, he would use another way to deal with her. That night, Yeonwoo returned home for dinner, but his mother was very cold. He wanted to invite his mother out to eat, but his mother only replied that if his father did not return, she would not go anywhere. When Yeonwoo recalled his childhood, the image of a chaotic day appeared in his mind. That day, the floor was littered with broken glass, and Yeonwoo's foot was injured by a piece of glass. In a drunken state, his mother told him that from now on, his father would never come home again. Only he and his mother would live together. The painful feelings from the past came back, so Yeonwoo went to Kang-hoon's restaurant to drink. In a drunken state, Yeonwoo asked Kang-hoon what it was like to only care about one person. Kang-hoon said that when one person changes, the other person will change as well. After Yeonwoo witnessed his mother waiting day after day in vain, he felt that he hated the same thing more than change. Hearing this, Kang-hoon quickly realized why Yeonwoo kept changing girlfriends, so Kang-hoon advised Yeonwoo to try living alone to feel it. However, Yeonwoo did not agree, and he frankly said that he still liked having women by his side. The next day, Jin-kyung returned to the hospital for a follow-up checkup as scheduled with the doctor. When she saw other pregnant women coming and going, she began to feel extremely sad and started to have negative thoughts. It turned out that Jin-kyung knew Kang-hoon. During a mission as a firefighter, Kang-hoon saved Jin-kyung. Because Kang-hoon wanted to prevent her from any other unfortunate incidents, before leaving, he left his phone number for her. He told her to contact him whenever she needed him. Now Jin-kyung wanted to thank Kang-hoon for helping her. This was what she needed to do before she died. However, at that time, Kang-hoon was busy with another mission, so he didn't hear the phone ring. At the same time, Sojin discovered that Jin-kyung had the gene of people who tend to do stupid things, so Sojin immediately called Yeonwoo. At first, Yeonwoo didn't believe in Sojin's gene theory. However, at that moment, he heard a nurse screaming that there was a pregnant woman who wanted to do something stupid. Yeonwoo immediately ran to the rooftop and found out that it was Jin-kyung. Yeonwoo used Sojin's own words to convince the pregnant woman. He said that he would respect her wishes. Even if she only had one day to be with her child, he would do his best to let her see her child. Jin-kyung faced the pain of losing her child. She was still standing on the edge of the rooftop. Because Sojin wanted to help Jin-kyung calm down, she mustered up all her courage to climb over the fence to persuade Jin-kyung. Jin-kyung seemed to have calmed down a bit, so Jin immediately reached out to pull Jin-kyung back. However, at the last moment, Jin-kyung changed her mind. Sojin quickly pushed Jin-kyung inside, but Sojin fell down. In that life-or-death moment, Yeonwoo suddenly rushed forward and hugged Sojin tightly. He fell down with her. Luckily, they landed on the safety cushion that the fire department had prepared. Kang-hoon realized that Sojin was the one who fell, so he worriedly checked her condition. Yeonwoo joked that he was always lucky. When Sojin was with him, she would also be lucky. It was then that Sojin learned that Kang-hoon and Yeonwoo were friends. Yeonwoo was also surprised when he learned that Sojin and Kang-hoon had been friends since childhood. Kang-hoon suggested that the two of them get a checkup after the fall, but Yeonwoo hurriedly went to check on Jin-kyung. When Yeonwoo passed by, Sojin unconsciously looked at him. Just now, when she fell from above, her nose accidentally pressed against Yeonwoo's armpit. She smelled a strange scent. Surprisingly, the scent was very pleasant and fragrant. That night, Sojin and Kang-hoon went drinking together. Jin-kyung's image reminded Sojin of her father who had passed away forever. Before her father passed away, she noticed his unusual behavior, but she pretended not to know anything, because at that time, her father looked very sad. He often showed signs of being tired of life when he was at home. She thought that perhaps this came from the fact that his family did not care enough about him. That's why his last calls before passing away were not to his family members. This made Sojin extremely regretful. Her father's eternal departure became a deep wound in her heart. Kang-hoon also has pain similar to Sojin. Many years ago, Kang-hoon was unable to save Sojin's father. He blamed himself for that for a long time. Before saying goodbye, Kang-hoon gave a hot patch to Sojin. He reminded her to use it to treat the wound after the fall. Sojin thought that Yeonwoo was the one who was more seriously injured. That night, while lying in bed, Sojin remembered what Yeonwoo said when he tried to calm Jin-kyung down. He said that being able to see the person you love again was more precious than anything else in the world. This was also what Sojin had said to Yeonwoo before. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo couldn't help but remember Sojin's brave moment when she saved Jin Kyung. He still remembered her saying that she didn't want to see anyone die in front of her. The two of them started to think about each other more and gradually became attracted to each other. Sojin still couldn't forget the special scent from Yeonwoo because she wanted to test whether she was really attracted to that scent or just an illusion. She was determined to collect his sweat to study his scent. Sojin begged Kang-hoon to invite Yeonwoo to play basketball. Kang-hoon couldn't refuse Sojin's offer, so he had to take her along to the game. She held a sign to cheer for Kang-hoon, but Sojin's eyes didn't leave Yeonwoo. When Sojin saw Yeonwoo's sweat drops falling to the ground, she couldn't help but feel regretful. After the game, Kang-hoon searched for a long time but couldn't find Sojin's figure. Meanwhile, Sojin secretly waited for everyone to leave so she could sneakily take the sports shirt that Yeonwoo had just worn. However, Yeonwoo saw Sojin's strange actions. When Sojin returned to the lab, she immediately conducted her experiment. Sojin soaked Yeonwoo's shirt in water to let the scent spread and ferment. The extracted scent was the fragrance from Yeonwoo's body. If Sojin loves this scent more, it means that she and Yeonwoo have strong genetic compatibility. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo still doesn't know that he is being turned into a test subject. Yeonwoo and Mihan go to see an art exhibition. In front of them is a painting of a mother holding a child. Instead of exuding happiness, the mother is full of fear and sadness. The female artist shares that this feeling comes from the first time she gave birth. The birth of the child was like a nail stabbing into her heart. She felt like she was being pulled back and her wings were broken. Yeonwoo frankly said that when Mihan heard these words, she would definitely feel very sad. This statement made both women laugh because Mihan was only the adopted daughter of the female artist's family. There was no blood relationship between them. The female artist's husband had passed away. The relationship between her and her two daughters was not very close. While the two were eating, Yeonwoo couldn't help but think about Sojin. Sojin's bright and lively image made Yeonwoo want to get closer to her. This was the first time Yeonwoo felt curious about a woman like that. Meanwhile, Sojin had successfully extracted the scent from Yeonwoo's jersey. Just one sniff, and she was captivated by his scent. It was a wonderful scent that was both sweet and mysterious. She had never smelled this scent from anyone else. This scent made her heart beat fast. Sojin considered Yeonwoo as her destiny. However, the scent was only the first step. Yeonwoo needed to confirm whether Yeonwoo was a womanizer or not. If Yeonwoo was womanizer, Sojin would be determined to keep her distance from him. Because Sojin wanted Yeonwoo to agree to a gene test, she followed Kang-hoon to the party where Yeonwoo was present. Sojin had prepared very carefully for this event. However, she discovered that the main dish of the meal was octopus. As a result, uncomfortable while eating the octopus, she unfortunately choked. Seeing this, Yeonwoo immediately ran over to save her, but the piece of octopus flew into someone else's forehead. Sojin felt embarrassed, so she ran outside to get some air. Yeonwoo followed Sojin outside and asked her why she stole his shirt. Her strange actions made him suspect that she had a perverted hobby. Sojin explained that the scent in human sweat could help researchers determine their level of affection. Yeonwoo asked Sojin how she felt about his scent. From a biological perspective, she frankly said that she really liked his scent. Hearing her say that, he thought that she was secretly confessing to him. However, Sojin panicked and explained that it was only the testing phase. Just then, Kang-hoon ran over and interrupted their conversation. He said he wanted to take Sojin home. Hearing that, Yeonwoo also stepped forward and said that he could take Sojin home since they were going the same way. However, Kang-hoon insisted that Sojin lived near his house. Then he hugged Sojin's shoulder and left. The next day, because Sojin wanted to get Yeonwoo's genetic test consent, she brought a hair growth inhibitor to find him. When Sojin helped Yeonwoo apply the medicine, the distance between the two became closer. Both of them felt their hearts beat faster. Just like that, the two of them quickly turned away to avoid feeling embarrassed. Then, Sojin asked Yeonwoo if he had ever been strongly attracted to the scent of the opposite sex. She then invited him to smell her scent to see if she was the type he liked. As Yeonwoo got closer, Sojin's heart started to give off warning signals. She immediately backed away and made it clear that the reason she came to him was that she wanted him to agree to a genetic test. She also said that all her ex-boyfriends had the womanizing gene, so they were all womanizer. So Sojin wanted to know if Yeonwoo had this gene. However, Yeonwoo did not agree with confirming feelings through scent. He also did not believe that male-female relationships could be understood based on genetic codes. So he rejected her proposal. Sojin had no other choice but to temporarily put her plans on hold. The next day was the anniversary of Sojin's father's death. This was also the saddest day of the year for her. Kang-hoon wanted to help Sojin improve her relationship with her family, so he invited them to his restaurant. Sojin placed her deceased father's bowl and chopsticks on the table. Meanwhile, Kang-hoon's father poured wine for Sojin's father and promised to take good care of her. Sojin Sojin heard those sincere words and thanked him. However, the atmosphere immediately became tense. When Sojin's sister and mother arrived, Kang-hoon tried to adjust the atmosphere, but Sojin's sister bluntly said that he did not have the same family background as theirs. Sojin's mother also criticized her late husband for not being ambitious. At the same time, she reminded her daughters that if they did not have economic conditions, they would only hurt their loved ones. Hearing this, Sojin blamed her mother because her mother never thanked her father for what he had done. Then she and her mother started arguing fiercely. They blamed each other for not paying attention to Sojin's father. As a result, he did something stupid. The arguing startled Yeonwoo, who was eating nearby. Only then did Yeonwoo realize that the female artist was Sojin's mother. The unwelcome child in the painting was her. After Sojin argued with her family, she decided to leave. Kang-hoon wanted to chase after Sojin, but his father stopped him. His father advised him to leave Sojin alone to think about things. When Yeonwoo found Sojin, he found her crying like a baby. To make her happy, he agreed to let her test his genes. Sojin happily said that she wanted one of Yeonwoo's jerseys. Thanks to that, Sojin got the number 7 jersey that Yeonwoo had. She anxiously prayed that he didn't have the womanizer genes. Finally, Sojin got Yeonwoo's genetic test results. Sojin was happy to find out that Yeonwoo had a lot of good points. However, the last category surprised her. Yeonwoo had 7 womanizer genes. This definitely meant that he had a lot of women outside. Maybe that would last for the rest of his life. Sojin didn't know that Yeonwoo and Kang-hoon both wore the same number 7 jersey, so he probably got the wrong jersey. Sojin was devastated. Sojin didn't know how to face Yeonwoo. Instead, the director called Sojin to Yeonwoo's hospital to cooperate. Because Sojin wanted to verify whether Yeonwoo was a womanizer or not, she started secretly following him. Sojin saw Yeonwoo gently bending down to tie a pregnant woman's shoelace. During the meeting, the nurses all looked at Yeonwoo with admiration. When Sojin finished her presentation, she received applause from everyone. A jealous nurse deliberately bumped into Sojin. However, Sojin came to the conclusion that Yeonwoo was like a central air conditioner. He always emitted energy that attracted all the women around him. When Sojin went to the bathroom, she heard someone vomiting in the bathroom. Then a bottle of medicine rolled out. When the woman came out of the bathroom, Sojin advised her that her health was not good. Her body fat index was even lower than the standard. If she continued to lose weight and use appetite suppressants, she would experience a hormonal imbalance. This would lead to depression. She did not listen to the advice and insisted on losing weight. She said that her husband liked women with model-like figures. She felt that her body was full of excess fat and wrinkles. Meanwhile, her husband was having an affair with a girl younger than their son, so she was forced to do everything she could to get her husband back. Sojin felt sympathy for that unfortunate woman. The woman continued to talk about her husband. He used to love her very much, but he started cheating when she was pregnant. Even though she found out and he apologized, his cheating became uncontrollable. He cheated again and changed women constantly. Sojin believed that the womanizer genes was the root of all evil. She didn't know that the woman in front of her was Yeonwoo's mother. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo was sitting and talking with his father. His father had decided from the beginning that he would inherit the hospital, but Yeonwoo only wanted to be an excellent obstetrician and gynecologist. He had witnessed his father having affairs with many different women since he was young. His mother had become a resentful woman. He didn't care about anyone's feelings. She didn't even care that his father was having an affair with a woman younger than him. Meanwhile, Sojin accidentally met her ex-boyfriend on the way home from work. He was arguing with another girl. This girl suspected that he was dating someone else while still in a relationship with her. Sojin couldn't imagine this situation. Her ex-boyfriend had betrayed her just a few days ago, but he was quick to betray his new girlfriend because Sojin wanted to expose the true face of this womanizer. She called the other girl. He got such retribution. He was even angrier. He then left in anger. As for Sojin, she remembered the image of her begging him not to leave her. Now she realized that such people should be eliminated as soon as possible. Because she did not want to be involved with womanizers, she immediately texted Yeonwoo to inform him that he had 7 womanizer genes. She advised him to meditate or go to the temple to repent. In particular, he should avoid eating eel, scallion, oysters, and similar foods. Yeonwoo did not believe that he had this gene. He did not want to be unjustly condemned. He decided to meet Sojin to talk. So the two met at the park. Sojin honestly shared that even if her partner had a rare disease or was about to leave this world, she would still accompany him to the end. However, she could not accept a man with a womanizer genes. Sojin felt lucky that she had done a genetic test. She believed that compared to human emotions, genes were something that was immutable and eternal. Hearing this, Yeonwoo immediately thought that Sojin's point of view was unreasonable. He felt wronged. He criticized her for jumping to conclusions without understanding him. However, she insisted that his genes had given the answer. Even if he was faithful now, he would not be able to avoid promiscuity in the future. Yeonwoo was very disappointed, so he went to a bar to drink. Yeonwoo accidentally met Mihan. He immediately asked her if she thought she looked like a womanizer person. She replied that he knew how to capture the most beautiful moments of women, regardless of their age. She was sure that his ex-girlfriends would not be able to forget him. Meanwhile, Sojin was also chatting with Kang-hoon. He advised her that she could not rely solely on genetic testing to determine her life partner. She needed to truly understand the other person to find true love. The important thing was that he did not want to see her suffer because of love again. After confiding in her, he wanted to take her home to eat noodles. Sojin grabbed Kang-hoon's hand as she jumped down. Unfortunately, she slipped and fell on top of him. In the moment of close contact, she smelled his scent. He immediately stood up and warned her that she should not smell the scent of other men, otherwise she would be considered a pervert. After Sojin returned, she put away all her research on Yeonwoo. Every moment since they met appeared in her mind. Although she felt a little regretful, she told herself that a little pain is better than long-term pain, so she forced herself to give up. However, when Sojin was burning the genetic test report, she discovered that Yeonwoo had a healing gene. This gene can solve the misfortunes she is carrying within her. Seeing this, Sojin has hope again. Sojin wants to apologize to Yeonwoo and continue researching his jealousy. At this time, she accidentally meets him at Kang-hoon's house. Kang-hoon brings 2 bowls of noodles for the two of them and stands in front of Sojin and chats. The two of them reminisce about past and laugh happily. Seeing that scene, Yeonwoo feels unhappy. He only ate a few bites and then stands up and leaves. Yeonwoo is very surprised because Kang-hoon is usually quiet, but now he talks so much. The next day, Yeonwoo and Sojin examine a young pregnant woman together. The child in her womb may carry the blindness gene from his grandfather. They hope that the pregnant woman can prepare herself mentally. Unexpectedly, the pregnant woman gets angry and asks why Yeonwoo has the same gene, but he is healthy. It turns out that this young pregnant woman is Yeonwoo's father's new lover. To prove her existence, she deliberately went to Yeonwoo under the pretext of a medical examination. She didn't know that Yeonwoo already knew her identity because his mother showed him the photo of his father cheating on her. Yeonwoo was angry about this. He reminded the pregnant woman that his father didn't want peace, so don't think that with just a promise, she can have everything. The woman thought that Yeonwoo was provoking her, so she left in anger. Sojin accidentally found out that Yeonwoo's father was a womanizer. Then she remembered what she said to him. She felt like she was saying that he was just like his father. She felt very guilty, so she hurriedly chased after him to apologize. But Yeonwoo coldly said that this was his father's personal matter. Moreover, he didn't believe and didn't care about Sojin's genetic research. His cold words made her feel extremely sad. On the way home, she discovered that someone was following her. Sojin then remembered what Kang-hoon said about a case that happened on this road. Panic welled up in her heart. Sojin ran and called Kang-hoon, but no one answered. She panicked and fell to the ground. Then she saw the man rushing towards her from behind. She closed her eyes in fear. At that moment, Yeonwoo suddenly appeared. A moment later, Kang-hoon also ran over. When Yeonwoo knew that the man had run away, Yeonwoo immediately chased after and restrained him. Unexpectedly, that person was Do, Sojin's ex-boyfriend. He came to find her to take revenge. Kang-hoon beat him up. Yeonwoo helped Sojin stand up. Sojin mustered up all her courage and said that his healing gene could help people who intended to do stupid things to live again. He could make people who cried all day smile. So she wanted to do the experiment again. Yeonwoo said that the experiment had to be done like this. Then he approached her and tried to kiss her. She used all her strength to push him away. Yeonwoo couldn't understand Sojin's way of thinking. He thought that men and women don't necessarily need to rely on DNA to understand each other. Physical contact is the direct way to confirm the feelings between two people. Kang-hoon had finished dealing with Sojin's ex-boyfriend, so he was about to run over to take Sojin home, but he saw the two of them about to kiss. He felt very uncomfortable. They didn't realize that someone was hiding and taking pictures of the intimate moment between Yeonwoo and Sojin. Before they said goodbye, Kang-hoon told Sojin that no matter how quickly she wanted to choose a man, she shouldn't rush into love. When Kang-hoon saw Sojin close the door, he turned away to look for Yeonwoo. Kang-hoon knew that Yeonwoo had had many relationships with other girls, so he frankly said that Sojin was the person he wanted to protect. Therefore, Kang-hoon hoped that Yeonwoo wouldn't kiss Sojin so randomly. Yeonwoo realized that Kang-hoon was concerned about this, so he immediately asked Kang-hoon if he liked Sojin. Kang-hoon reflexively avoided question. Kang-hoon said that Sojin was like a family member to him. However, Yeonwoo argued that if they were family, they shouldn't interfere in each other's love affairs. When she got home, Sojin couldn't control her emotions when she remembered the unfinished kiss with Yeonwoo. Moreover, the moment he ran to save her last night made her feel like an invisible force had led him to her. She then learned from Hari about a theory that in this world there exists an empathy that transcends space and time. Even if they are in different times and spaces, they can still feel or see the same things. beings. This theory is similar to the psychic induction gene that Sojin believes in. She believes that it will definitely be proven in the future. After the kiss, Sojin did not appear for several days in a row. Yeonwoo felt dissatisfied. She had clearly said that she would research his genes, but he had not seen her all day. He knew that his colleague would go to Sojin's genetic research site to work, so he decided to follow her. At this time, a surprise visitor appeared at the research institute. This woman was a weather reporter. She was not satisfied with Sojin's truthful recording of the test report. The report clearly stated that she would lose the ability to get pregnant before the age of 40, and that her number of pregnancies was also less than that of an average person. The important thing was that she was about to marry into a noble family. If her future husband's family saw this test report, she might not have the chance to enter their home, so she threatened Sojin to change the report. She wanted the report to focus on her advantages. Sojin firmly refused the woman's request because Sojin followed the researcher's rules. The test results could not be arbitrarily changed based on the client's personal opinion. When Sojin said that, the woman angrily pulled her hair. Yeonwoo came to help Sojin, and he deliberately made a colleague faint. When he saw his colleague fall down, he immediately shouted for help to attract everyone's attention. Then he asked to talk to the woman privately. In the end, Yeonwoo solved the problem for Sojin. He even specially waited for her to get off work to take her home. When Yeonwoo saw Sojin covering the wound on her eye with a sad face, he took the initiative to take her to sing to relieve stress. It seemed that Sojin was a bit shy, but seeing him dance made her feel more comfortable. She no longer cared about singing out of tune. She sang loudly to release all her negative emotions. On the way back, Sojin felt strange when Yeonwoo suddenly became like a different person. He was so gentle with her that her heart couldn't help but beat faster. Yeonwoo once again suggested that Sojin could continue using him as a test subject. This reminded her of the unfinished kiss that day, so she began to suspect that he had other intentions. However, when Sojin learned that she could research Yeonwoo's genes, she felt very happy. Hari interrupted their conversation. Hari saw the wound on Sojin's face, so she immediately thought that it was caused by Yeonwoo. Ever since Sojin researched Yeonwoo's scent, Hari felt that the smell was like the stench of sewers. Hari knew that Yeonwoo had a womanizer genes, so she didn't like him even more. Hari secretly called Yeonwoo an octopus that smelled like sewers. Because Hari wanted to get rid of Yeonwoo quickly, she asked Sojin to go out to eat with her. However, Sojin enthusiastically invited Yeonwoo to go out to eat with her. Finally, the three of them arrived at the restaurant and sat at 2 different tables. Hari said that she went to volunteer at the church today. She felt magical because just being with the priest reduced her anxiety and filled her with a sense of security. The priest lost his father when he was young, and his mother also passed away in a fire. He grew up in an orphanage, and his mother loved to grow flowers in the greenhouse. The priest seemed to resemble his mother, because as soon as Hari got close to him, she could smell the scent of flowers on him. Hari's words reminded Yeonwoo of a memory from long ago. When he was young, when he found out that his father was having an affair, he rushed into that woman's house. Then he threw a flower pot on the ground. That woman's son was about the same age as Yeonwoo. Back in reality, Yeonwoo went to the flower shop to buy a bouquet of flowers for Sojin. He wanted to get her attention. However, he did not know that a man in a hat was secretly watching him. While Yeonwoo was wrapping flowers, Sojin was conducting an experiment. Suddenly, she sneezed continuously. She was allergic to pollen, even though there were no flowers in the lab. Yeonwoo then brought the flowers to the research institute. Unfortunately, Sojin was attending a seminar at her old school. Sojin told the students that 2 people belonging to different times and spaces could have some kind of magical destroying sympathy. As long as they believed in the magical DNA reaction, perhaps the person they loved would appear from that door. The next moment she finished speaking, someone pushed the door open and entered. At that moment, Sojin saw Yeonwoo standing at the door with a bouquet of flowers in his hand. This coincidental moment seemed to have been predestined, making her very surprised. Yeonwoo held the flowers and slowly approached Sojin. As the distance between them narrowed, Sojin sneezed continuously, causing saliva to splash onto Yeonwoo's face. Sojin was very curious as to why she had been sneezing non-stop since noon. Hearing that, Yeonwoo explained that he was at the flower shop this afternoon. The flowers hadn't been delivered yet, but Sojin had already had allergic symptoms, so there was only one way to explain the situation: spiritual empathy. Sojin led Yeonwoo to her secret space. This classroom contained many of her secrets. Then Sojin took out the globe on top of the cupboard, and she said that it was her time capsule. Inside the globe were movie tickets that she wanted to go see with her boyfriend, but unfortunately, her boyfriend betrayed her and went to see the movie with another girl. Besides the movie tickets, there was also a music player. Inside the player was only one song. It was the song she had promised to listen to with her boyfriend. Yeonwoo wanted to listen to the song, but the music player ran out of battery, so he suggested charging it and they listened together. Seeing Seeing this, Sojin suddenly felt embarrassed. She didn't know how to respond. Yeonwoo didn't urge her to eat together anymore. The two of them decided to simultaneously say what they wanted to eat. Unexpectedly, they both said their favorite dumpling soup. The coincidences that happened many times made Duobnai. Sojin believed more and more that there was a special bond between her and Yeonwoo. Sojin confided in Kang-hoon that she had never been compatible with such a guy. Kang-hoon reminded Sojin that compatibility was built on understanding people and shared experiences. However, Sojin was inherently a person who liked others easily, so she blindly developed feelings. Kang-hoon knew that the person Sojin was talking about was Yeonwoo, so he warned her that the person she should not date the most was Yeonwoo. Because Yeonwoo couldn't give Sojin what she wanted, Sojin didn't understand why Kang-hoon was so angry. Sohari exposed the truth. He had just managed to save her from her old relationship, but now she was trying to get into a dangerous relationship. That night, Kang-hoon happened to meet Mihan on his way home. Mihan wanted to show her gratitude for Kang-hoon saving her last time, so she gave him a newly published book. She took the initiative to save Kang-hoon's phone number and said that if she was in danger, she would come to him. Kang-hoon asked Mihan if Yeonwoo would be angry if she saved someone else's number so casually. Mihan explained that she and Yeonwoo were not in a relationship. To her, Yeonwoo was just a Friday person because he had a date with different people every day. Kang-hoon could not agree with the way Mihan and Yeonwoo treated love and breakups as a joke. He said that people like them should date people of the same type. They should not hurt innocent people. After saying that, he returned the book to Mihan and turned around and left. In another development, Sojin wanted to test whether she and Yeonwoo really felt spiritual sympathy. She told him that the two of them would choose one of two places to go, and they were not to let the other know their choice. Then they would see if they chose the same place or not. Then the two of them set off to search for each other's figure. Not long after, they both heard a call from behind. They both turned around excitedly, but Sojin realized that the person calling her name was Kang-hoon. The person who appeared behind Yeonwoo was Mihan. Mihan happened to meet Yeonwoo, so she wanted to invite him for a drink, but she was refused. Then Mihan reminded Yeonwoo not to forget the gathering this weekend. Meanwhile, Sojin was very unhappy when the person who appeared behind her was Kang-hoon. Kang-hoon also did not understand why Sojin was so angry. At that time, a boy was riding a bike and rushing towards an old woman. Kang-hoon immediately rushed out to hug the boy. The two fell to the side, and the old woman was safe. When Sojin saw that Kang-hoon had scratches on his arms and knees, she immediately applied medicine to him. She felt sorry when she saw the wounds on his thighs. She thought that if his mother were still alive, she would definitely not let him do dangerous work like being a firefighter. Kang-hoon thought that finding a good job was as important for men as finding a good man for women. He loved this job, so he did not regret his decision. When Sojin leaned forward, she smelled the perfume on Kang-hoon. Suddenly, she felt uncomfortable, so she left in a hurry before she finished applying the medicine. When she got home, Sojin confided in Hari in frustration. Sojin had seriously conveyed her sympathy to Yeonwoo, but the two could not find each other. She didn't understand what she did wrong that led to such a result. Before Sojin went to bed, she angrily sent Yeonwoo a few messages of reproach. She also informed him that their experiment had failed. The next day, Sojin began to consider the reasons why the empathy signal failed. She identified two locations, the Han River and Namsan Tower. From 7 to 8 in the evening, she prayed that she would meet Yeonwoo. Yeonwoo also transmitted an empathy signal to Sojin, but at 8:30, Kang-hoon appeared behind her. Sojin suspected that her signal was being interfered with and seemed to have reached Kang-hoon. Just then, Sojin's phone rang. Sojin received the message that Yeonwoo had sent the night before, along with a photo taken in front of a restaurant by the Han River. Sojin confirmed that at the two locations of the Han River and Namsan Tower, she and Yeonwoo had both chosen the Han River. She wondered why they hadn't met. Sojin thought that Yeonwoo might have been interrupted as well, so she wondered if someone had blocked his signal. Sojin realized that the experiment had been affected by an external factor, so she called Yeonwoo and asked to meet up to talk. He suggested several time slots, but she refused all of them because the specific date was still up to her to decide. Led by Sojin, Yeonwoo began to worry about his condition. In the evening, Yeonwoo attended a gathering that Mihan had invited. Most of the participants were open-minded about love, especially Mihan. She was a person who was loyal to the polyamorous lifestyle. At the gathering, there was a director who wanted to talk to her about this issue. Mihan was also not afraid to express her opinion. When she was 28, she started dating many men just because she liked love. However, she hates it when men and women want to possess each other and hurt each other. The director asked if she had experienced anything bad when she was young, because according to the director, dating many people at the same time is a sign of emotional deprivation. Saying so is like affirming that Mihan is an abnormal person. After finishing his words, he immediately acted inappropriately towards Mihan. In the moment Mihan wanted to leave, leave. He grabbed her hand and pulled her back. He continued to press her. Luckily, Yeonwoo stepped forward to help Mihyun escape the harassment. Yeonwoo comforted Mihyun that if she had chosen a different path, she should not let other people's words affect her. He affirmed that the Mihyun he knew was always confident and not shy like that. Hearing his words, she felt like she wanted to know what he thought about loving many people. Yeonwoo frankly shared that it was difficult to accept at first, but then he agreed with that point of view. He likes to keep a comfortable distance from the other person, not too close or too far, just enough. Dating Mihyun was also his choice. Even though he was a Friday person, every date made him full of anticipation. Unfortunately, Mihyun disappeared for half a year, and in the end, the two ended unclearly. Yeonwoo wanted to meet Sojin, so he invited her to go stargazing tomorrow night. Sojin was passionate about astronomy, so she agreed immediately. Before leaving, Sojin called Kang-hoon and asked him to watch the dog because she would go camping with Yeonwoo tonight. When Kang-hoon heard this, he immediately felt worried because Kang-hoon had previously heard from Yeonwoo's colleague that he had made many plans to conquer Sojin. Moreover, he was very good at planning. The colleague also exclaimed that with this kind of plan, no girl could refuse. That night, Yeonwoo took Sojin to the tent site. They prepared their camping gear. After they finished, they relaxed and enjoyed barbecue. Kang-hoon was worried that Sojin might fall into Yeonwoo's trap, so he rushed over to look for them. While Kang-hoon was looking for the two, Mihyun also happened to be there to camp. Mihyun saw Kang-hoon, so she secretly followed him. While Yeonwoo was bringing a piece of barbecue to Sojin's mouth, Kang-hoon suddenly appeared. He pretended to be amazed at this wonderful coincidence. Yeonwoo realized that Kang-hoon came here to cause trouble, but Sojin thought it was just a coincidence. She pulled Kang-hoon down to sit next to her to watch the stars, and they started chatting. When Sojin felt cold and started rubbing her hands, Yeonwoo delicately covered her with a blanket. However, Kang-hoon pulled the blanket towards himself, and he gave his jacket to Sojin. Yeonwoo refused to give up, so he quickly grabbed Kang-hoon's jacket and put it on himself. The two big men started fighting childishly. In the end, poor Sojin had to endure the cold because no one was paying attention to her. She let the two men continue their confrontation. When Yeonwoo fed Sojin, Kang-hoon quickly swallowed it. Yeonwoo then intentionally fed Kang-hoon a spoonful of super hot food. Kang-hoon fell for it, but despite the burns, he endured it and praised the taste. Sojin didn't notice the tension between the two, but instead thought they were developing a social friendship between the two men. Feeling ignored, she got up and went to the bathroom alone. In her absence, the two men started talking frankly. Yeonwoo blamed Kang-hoon for meddling in his business. Kang-hoon insisted that Sojin needed a man who would always be by her side. Before that person appears, he will continue to protect her. Kang-hoon also understands Yeonwoo's attitude towards love, and he will prevent the relationship between Yeonwoo and Sojin. When Sojin returns, the two immediately stop their unfinished conversation. At this moment, Kang-hoon receives an urgent call to go on a mission, so he has to leave. Only then does Yeonwoo breathe a sigh of relief. However, he still feels jealous of the close relationship between Sojin and Kang-hoon. Sojin explains that they grew up together. When Kang-hoon was young, she would also get sick, so in her mind, Kang-hoon cannot be hurt. Then the two of them stand up to watch the stars. Then Yeonwoo takes out Sojin's music player that he has repaired. He wishes to listen to the song on the player with her. When the melody plays, they raise their heads to look at the starry sky. Sojin expressed that ever since her ex-lover betrayed her, she wanted to cry every time she heard this song. But now she felt that the song was really good. Yeonwoo immediately made a request that if they listened to this song together, then from now on he would be her destined man. The atmosphere immediately became awkward and romantic. But at that moment, another person appeared. Mihyun got lost and accidentally found Yeonwoo and Sojin. Yeonwoo intended to introduce the two to each other, but Mihyun took the initiative to say that she was his ex-girlfriend. Hearing that, So immediately guessed that Mihyun was the one who interfered with their empathy signals in the previous experiment. Yeonwoo could not accept that the experiment failed, so he requested to do it again. This time, it would follow the rules he set. If the experiment was successful, he hoped that Sojin would agree to officially date him. Then Yeonwoo designated 2 locations for the meeting. One was the aquarium, the other was the art museum. The 2 of them would choose where they wanted to go, and they would see if they could meet. Sojin believed what Yeonwoo said, but she didn't know that his words were carefully prepared. On the day of the experiment, Yeonwoo asked his colleagues to secretly report all of Sojin's actions. His colleagues followed her on the subway. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo drove on the road to follow her. However, unfortunately, his colleagues accidentally lost track of Sojin. So Yeonwoo's plan was interrupted. In a situation where they had to choose between the 2, Yeonwoo decided to go to the aquarium. But when Yeonwoo arrived, he didn't see Sojin. At that moment, he received a call from Sojin. Yeonwoo wanted to talk to Sojin, but he heard the explanation of the work on his phone. He realized that she was at the museum, so he made up a story that he was stuck in traffic. Sojin waited for Yeonwoo at the museum until it closed proposed, but she didn't see him. She thought they had missed their chance to meet, so she became depressed. At that moment, Yeonwoo ran to Sojin and shouted that they had succeeded. Sojin confirmed that Yeonwoo was her destined lover. Both of them were happy that their relationship had taken the next step. Yeonwoo wanted to go to a restaurant for dinner, but Sojin took him to the convenience store. This was her secret place. She revealed that whenever she felt sad, she often stopped by here to relax. Today was a happy day, so she wanted to share with Yeonwoo her best restaurant. Seeing her smile and talk happily like that made him smile too. When he got home, he specially made a cup of tea that had anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties. It turned out that his stomach would hurt when he ate snacks. What gave him a headache was Sojin really liked snacks, so the road to changing her eating habits was still long. He told himself that he needed to help her realize the importance of healthy eating. Sojin happily rolled around on the bed and enjoyed the feeling of their vague relationship gradually turning into love. At that moment, Yeonwoo called Sojin and invited her to dinner tomorrow. Although Sojin was very happy, she still wanted things to take their time, so she suggested meeting on Saturday. When Sojin learned that Yeonwoo had to work overtime on Saturday, she immediately changed her mind and agreed to meet after work the next day. The next day, they met at the restaurant that Yeonwoo had carefully chosen. Unexpectedly, as soon as they sat down, they met Mihan and her boyfriend, who had just arrived. Mihan greeted them, and her boyfriend suggested sitting at the same table. However, Yeonwoo wanted to eat alone with Sojin, so he refused the offer. However, no one expected Sojin to agree to this offer. Before that, when Sojin had learned about Mihan, she discovered that Mihan was her mother's adopted daughter. Although Sojin had many complaints towards her mother, she still wanted to learn more about Mihan. When the four of them sat at the same table, Yeonwoo took care of Sojin by picking up food for her. Sojin looked at a plate full of dishes and felt bored, but because Yeonwoo was looking at Sojin, she reluctantly took a bite. Mihan saw Yeonwoo's actions and felt a little uncomfortable. She meant to mention that the two of them often came to this restaurant. At the same time, she said that Yeonwoo was a very picky eater. Sojin witnessed Yeonwoo and Mihan enjoying food in the same way and wondered why they acted so much like each other since they weren't close friends. Mihan's boyfriend asked if Yeonwoo and Sojin were dating. Sojin stammered an explanation, but Yeonwoo said that they were in the process of getting to know each other. Hearing that, Mihan suddenly raised her glass of wine. Mihan said that she didn't expect Yeonwoo to choose this wine. Mihan explained to Sojin that they had been to Bulgaria before and they had chosen this wine. However, Yeonwoo explained that it was a group trip and the two of them were just part of it. Mihan's boyfriend listened to the conversation and gradually realized that Yeonwoo was the ex-boyfriend she had mentioned in the book. Mihan told him about a trip with her ex-boyfriend. It was a memory she could never forget. The two of them had exactly the same taste. So after breaking up, Mihan still felt moved. Mihan's boyfriend couldn't stand this strange relationship, so he left immediately. Mihan awkwardly apologized and then left. The dinner ended in sadness for all four of them. Sojin, with a hungry stomach, went to the convenience store to buy food. There she chose beer. Unexpectedly, Kang-hoon was also buying beer. She picked out some more snacks. Coincidentally, Kang-hoon also picked out the same ones. Since childhood, the two of them had strangely similar tastes. Sojin began to pay attention to the relationship between Yeonwoo and Mihan. Kang-hoon teased that the two of them had many similarities from their habits to their hobbies. Sojin felt helpless and exclaimed that meeting a destined lover and having a destined lover were actually two completely different things. Sojin sadly did not understand why Yeonwoo and Mihan had been in a relationship for 3 years and broke up twice, but then kept getting back together. Meanwhile, Hari invented a new term called homologous bacteria. She discovered that people with similar food preferences often had the same type of intestinal bacteria. This type of bacteria had the ability to make these people see each other as life partners, thereby attracting each other. Based on the suggestions from this research, Sojin decided to eat the same food as Yeonwoo from now on. She will try to develop the same intestinal bacteria as him. In another development, Kang-hoon suspected that the fire at the apartment last time was not an accident. According to the investigation results, the cause of the fire was not a gas explosion or an electrical short circuit, and the flower petals in the room were not burned. This shows that there were many unexplained abnormalities. The unfortunate woman who died forever in the fire was Yeonwoo's father's lover. When he held the funeral for his lover, Yeonwoo's mother suddenly appeared. She declared that this was her husband's business and she could not stand aside. When leaving, Yeonwoo's mother glanced at the priest who was talking to the deceased's family. Yeonwoo's father ordered someone to follow his wife because he suspected that his wife was involved in the departure of his lover. Yeonwoo heard the gossip about the deceased while he was in the hospital. His family of 3 also became the center of attention, but he did not expect that his father would suspect his mother of being the culprit. His father insisted that his father's lover was pregnant, so she could not do anything foolish. dish. When Yunwoo's father saw that Yunwoo had no reaction, he yelled at him that the child had the same bloodline as Yunwoo who had died. However, Yunwoo did not feel any pity. Even if Yunwoo did not consider the child as a relative, the mother was still a patient he had treated. Yunwoo's father felt that someone like him was not worthy of being an obstetrician. This accusation from his father made him extremely angry. To him, the man in front of him was completely unworthy of being his father, and his father was also unqualified to be a woman's husband. While Yunwoo was busy dealing with family matters, and Sojin borrowed Kang-hoon's restaurant for the experimental, she will be filming an online meal with Yunwoo. From preparing the ingredients to finishing the dish, she will show Yunwoo step by step. She asks him to eat exactly like her. Kang-hoon thought she was just joking, so he put a chef's hat on her to tease her. When he pulled the hat up and revealed her eyes, he suddenly felt his heart pounding inexplicably. After a few days of online eating, her emotions gradually became more complicated. So Jin asked Yunwoo if he was constipated or if he had seen a change in the color of his stool, but then she quickly realized that he did not follow her menu. The failed meal plan filled her with boredom. Yunwoo noticed the abnormality in Sojin's voice. To comfort her, he prepared a big party at home and invited her to dinner. When the doorbell rang, it was not Sojin but Mihan who came. Today is Mihan's birthday, so she came to invite Yunwoo to celebrate. However, Yunwoo frankly said that he invited Sojin to dinner and he wanted to have some private space for the two of them. Although Mihan was not satisfied, she eventually left awkwardly. Then Sojin arrived on time and ate comfortably without hesitation. She said that this was the first time she had such a happy meal. However, as soon as she finished speaking, her stomach suddenly growled. To make Yunwoo feel uncomfortable, Sojin lied that she was just a little lactose intolerant. It would be fine in a while. After they had eaten their fill, he signaled her to sit on the sofa. So Jin told herself that she would try to endure the pain. She walked slowly to the sofa, then used her foot to put it under her butt to hold it in. She hoped the pain would pass quickly. Yunwoo did not pay any attention to that. He gently put a hairpin in her hair. That created a romantic atmosphere. So Jin secretly admired herself because even though she had a stomachache, she could still feel the vibration. However, when Yunwoo was about to confess to Sojin, she could not bear it anymore. She hurriedly rushed out to find the restroom. Yunwoo did not understand what was happening. He quickly put on his coat and chased her out of the house. As soon as Sojin entered the restroom in the hall, she was tormented by the pain to the point that she could not bear it anymore. So Sojin called Kang-hoon for help. Kang-hoon quickly arrived and quickly took her to the ambulance. Yunwoo ran outside, but he did not see Sojin's figure. He also did not know that she was lying in the ambulance that had just passed by. When Yunwoo called Sojin, the person who answered was Kang-hoon. Kang-hoon said that Sojin had been taken to the hospital by him. After Yunwoo heard the news, he also quickly ran to the hospital. The doctor began to diagnose Sojin's condition. She had acute gastroenteritis. In addition, there was a strange object in her lower left abdomen. The doctor suspected it was a uterine fibroid, so they needed to do more testing. Yunwoo felt a little jealous because every time Sojin had a problem, she would go to Kang-hoon first. So Yunwoo wanted to know what role Kang-hoon played in Sojin's heart. Hearing this, Kang-hoon replied that everyone had someone to share their pain or joy with. He didn't mind that Sojin only came to him when needed, because whenever she needed him, he would always appear like today. After Sojin finished the IV, she was discharged from the hospital and returned home. Kang-hoon's father personally cooked porridge and told him that even if he had to feed her spoon by spoon, he had to feed her all of it. Indeed, Sojin didn't want to eat this bland bowl of porridge at all. Even when Kang-hoon fed her, Sojin didn't want to open her mouth. Not only that, Sojin also asked Kang-hoon to try a bite to understand how she felt. When he was about to put the spoon in his mouth, Hari suddenly ran out to stop him. She thought that sharing a spoon was no different from an indirect kiss. So Jin didn't mind and said that this wasn't the first time they shared a spoon. Kang-hoon pushed the bowl of porridge away with a bored expression. He told her to eat to get well and then turned around to leave. To thank her, So Jin took some food and ran after him outside. Hearing the call, Kang-hoon stopped. So Jin ran to the stairs, but she accidentally fell on Kang-hoon. When the two fell to the ground, their lips touched. So Jin stood up, acting indifferent. Meanwhile, Kang-hoon couldn't calm down anymore. After Kang-hoo took Sojin home, his face was red and his heart was pounding. He decided to run out to the park to cool down. This was where he and Sojin often went when they were kids. He remembered the first time they met. At that time, Kang-hoon often cried because his mother was sick. So Jin saw that and immediately ran to comfort Kang-hoon and cheer him up. From then on, Kang-hoon treated Sojin as his real sister. Over the years, he also took care of Sojin like a younger brother. However, that kiss made his heart beat faster. Kang-hoon realized that he had had loved Sojin for a long time without knowing it. Sojin went to Yeonwoo's hospital for a thorough examination. The doctor informed her that her uterine fibroid was too big and she needed immediate surgery. When she heard that she had to have surgery and that there might be complications, she sat up in fear and asked for more details. The doctor seemed unhappy with her panicked attitude, so the assistant stayed to explain more clearly. The female doctor coldly left. After hearing the explanation, Sojin determined the time of surgery. She had thought a lot about finding someone to take care of her. Finally, she decided to call her mother. When Sojin's mother heard, she immediately said that she had an art exhibition that day. She would have free time for 2 months. She asked to postpone the surgery for 2 months so that she would have enough time to prepare. Sojin angrily said that no one could wait that long for surgery. Even in important life and death matters like this, she had to adjust to her mother's schedule. Her mother said that this was her problem, so she shouldn't blame her. She sadly texted her deceased father to relieve her. She expressed her fear of going into the operating room alone. She was worried about the general anesthesia. If only her father could be there to hold her hand, she wouldn't feel scared anymore. Yeonwoo heard these words but didn't say anything. Instead, Yeonwoo went to see Sojin's primary doctor. He had worked with this doctor for many years, so he knew that she was cold and often spoke harshly. He begged her to treat Sojin more gently. However, the female doctor was not pleased. She thought that there was no need to take special care of Sojin just because Sojin was someone Yeonwoo liked. She also criticized Yeonwoo for liking a girl with such childish behavior. Hearing this, Yeonwoo affirmed that he would perform the surgery on Sojin himself. On the other side, Sojin called her sister, hoping that her sister would be with her on the day of the surgery. That day, Sojin's sister and Mihan were drinking and playing games with the others. She was not pleased that Sojin bothered her, so she flatly refused. She said that it was not cancer, but just a simple surgery. She blamed Sojin for making a fuss. Mihan accidentally heard the conversation. It was then that Mihan learned that the two were biological sisters. Mihan wondered what kind of person Sojin was. Mihan's younger sister complained that Sojin was a fool. She couldn't give up her friends who cheated her out of money, and she couldn't give up her cheating boyfriend. She couldn't even bear to leave her family, who always said bad things to her. Sojin called Kang-hoon. After listening to her story, he promised to come to her. From now on, he would be her guardian. Sojin breathed a sigh of relief. Sojin and Hari went to the restaurant. The TV was showing the scene of the two main characters kissing. Kang-hoon couldn't help but remember the surprise kiss with Sojin, so his face turned red again. He quickly turned off the TV. Hari saw Kang-hoon's face turn red and suspected that the kiss scene had caused his adrenaline and dopamine to surge. Kang-hoon didn't know how to explain, so he could only turn around and run out. Inside the hospital room, Sojin was undergoing a pre-surgery checkup. To ease her anxiety, Yeonwoo put on headphones for Sojin. He then gave her a remote control. He told her to press the button if she felt uncomfortable. Since he was still outside, Sojin felt warm inside, and she enjoyed the feeling of being healed. Kang-hoon went to the hospital and saw Sojin standing among the flowers. He suddenly couldn't move at the sight. The scene of Sojin laughing and playing among the flower petals when she was young appeared in his mind. Then the two went out to eat together and unexpectedly met Mihan. Mihan knew that Sojin was a genetic researcher. Mihan wanted to find Sojin to check her health. Hearing that, Sojin immediately gave Mihan her business card. When Yeonwoo appeared, her eyes suddenly lit up. Yeonwoo told Sojin not to eat junk food and instead eat nutritious food. Mihan realized that Kang-hoon liked Sojin. She reminded him that liking her in his heart wouldn't work and he needed to show it. If Kang-hoon needs it, Mihan can send him documents about love. After the meal, Sojin received a call from Yeonwoo. He said that he had a gift for her. Then the two met in a quiet park. Yeonwoo said that this was his secret place because he would come here to relax whenever he was sad. After saying that, he took out the gift he had prepared. It was a bottle of water to drink after surgery, a pair of hospital slippers, a book to entertain himself when bored, and a heating pad after surgery. Sojin believed that she and Yeonwoo had a special sympathy because everything he gave her was what she needed. She shared that her family did not care about her. She thought that if it was Yeonwoo's family, it would definitely be different. Sojin was very curious because she had never heard Yeonwoo mention his relatives, but he deliberately avoided the matter. Then Yeonwoo took Sojin home. That night, Kang-hoon stayed at the hospital to look after Sojin for the night. Sojin asked Kang-hoon to help her tie her hair. Kang-hoon clumsily sat next to her, tying Sojin's hair while joking. Yeonwoo saw the intimate scene between the two and was very angry. In his anger, he kicked the box hard. The next day, when the surgery was about to take place, Kang-hoon received a call from the fire department informing him that there was a fire, so he had to immediately go on duty. Before leaving, Kang-hoon called his sister to inform her to come to the hospital. Immediately, he wanted her to be with Sojin in the operating room. Unfortunately, his sister was late, so Sojin went into the operating room alone. Unexpectedly, Yeonwoo had to rescue a pregnant woman who had an accident, so he had to perform another surgery. So the main surgeon for Sojin was not him. Sojin felt panicked and scared. Tears flowed uncontrollably from her eyes. When she opened her eyes, she suddenly saw Yeonwoo appear before her. Yeonwoo told her to think of good memories. After that, her surgery would be over soon. Sojin recalled the image of the 4 family members playing by the beach when she was young. Those were rare, beautiful moments in her memory. The surgery was very successful. When Sojin woke up, she thanked Yeonwoo for everything he had done for her. Seeing Yeonwoo so close before her eyes, she could not contain her emotions. She kissed him. At this time, Kang-hoon had just finished his firefighting work, and he rushed over. However, what he saw was the scene of Sojin and Yeonwoo kissing. They discussed sweet dates. After Sojin was discharged from the hospital, Yeonwoo wanted to find a place with fresh air to drive around. Meanwhile, Sojin wanted to stay home all day to enjoy their own world. They laughed and teased each other very sweetly. Kang-hoon witnessed the two kissing and felt sadness well up in his heart. To relieve his sadness, he went drinking. He blamed himself for being slow to realize his feelings. He suddenly realized that he had liked Sojin for a long time. Kang-hoon remembered the image of Sojin coming to him crying after she broke up. At that time, Sojin had asked Kang-hoon if there was anyone in this world who truly loved her. Kang-hoon had comforted her by saying that there would definitely be someone who would truly love her. Now he realized that he was the one who loved her like that. However, it was too late. Right after Sojin was discharged from the hospital, Yeonwoo gave Sojin a pair of beautiful shoes. Sojin also gave him a couple bracelet with the hope that they would be together forever. That night, they couldn't bear to leave each other. They talked on the phone. Sojin confided in him that before she loved him, her ideal type was someone like her father. Every time she thinks about her father, she feels a lot of regrets. The biggest regret is that her father used to love a pair of hiking shoes, but until he passed away, she still couldn't give him those shoes. Now that she thinks about it, Sojin still can't forgive herself. Seeing that Yeonwoo didn't reply right away, Sojin immediately realized that he was fast asleep, so she gently said goodnight and hung up. The next day, Yeonwoo came to see Sojin and gave her a pair of hiking shoes. This was a late gift, but he still hoped to make up for her regret. Because of this gift, she was touched and liked him even more. Meanwhile, Mihan received a notification from her group of friends about taking wedding photos. This friend invited members to wear hanbok to participate. She called Yeonwoo to invite him to participate, but he replied that he had another appointment. In the group chat, he explained to everyone about the problem he was facing. After Yeonwoo hung up, he asked Sojin to come to his house for dinner tomorrow. When Sojin agreed, Kang-hoon asked if she was free tomorrow. Sojin honestly said that she would go to dinner with Yeonwoo tomorrow. Kang-hoon felt a little sad, but he didn't say anything more. The next day, Yeonwoo came to pick Sojin up after work. Just as they were about to leave, Sojin suddenly received a text message from the flower shop owner. The owner informed her that the flowers she ordered last week were ready. Sojin suddenly remembered that today was the anniversary of Kang-hoon's mother's death, so she quickly apologized to Yeonwoo, got the flowers, and ran to the cemetery. Kang-hoon and his father were both happy to see Sojin there. She prepared flowers for them every year, and they were happy that she wasn't absent this year. Kang-hoon's father wanted to talk to his wife privately, so the two of them went for a walk. While walking around, they happened to see some people wearing hanbok taking wedding photos. Unexpectedly, Yeonwoo and Mihan were also among them. Sojin and Yeonwoo looked at each other in surprise. On the way back, Kang-hoon noticed that Sojin seemed to care about it. Sojin honestly said that maybe she was jealous. Even though Yeonwoo had hurt her, she couldn't control her feelings for him. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo also felt jealous. Mihan said that people who were just in a normal relationship wouldn't attend each other's mother's funeral. She meant that the relationship between Sojin and Kang-hoon was not simply that of friends. The next day, Mihan happened to meet Kang-hoon at the restaurant. She advised him to confess to Sojin, because if they missed this moment, they might lose each other for life. Sojin and Yeonwoo had breakfast together, but neither of them mentioned what happened yesterday. However, Sojin felt worried. She imagined everyone in the restaurant looking at Yeonwoo with longing eyes. Yeonwoo had asked Sojin to go to the movies, but she didn't pay attention, because at this time she was thinking about how to cut off connection with people who have the same genetic code. After eating, Mihan returned to the research institute and found Sojin. When Mihan happened to see the shoes Sojin was wearing, she said that Yeonwoo really liked this brand. Sojin looked down and found that her shoes and Mihan's were exactly the same. They were just different in color. Mihan wanted to assert her ownership, so she said that she had loved Yeonwoo for 3 years. The two of them understood each other very deeply. Sojin did not give up. She declared that she would have a good relationship with Yeonwoo because he was her destined lover. The two of them had compatible genetic codes. Before leaving, Mihan kindly advised Sojin that when she went on a date, she should not pay attention to other people's eyes, because Yeonwoo really disliked such people. Hearing this, Sojin suddenly felt angry. The person she loved had a womanizer genes, so he would definitely be surrounded by many girls. girls. She told herself to think more openly. However, Mihan's provocative words were still clear in her mind, making her unable to calm down. Hari teased Sojin about who told her to love someone with a womanizer genes. This reminded Sojin that although genes cannot be changed, they can be improved. She then stayed up all night to research a spray that could improve the womanizer genes. When they went to the movies, she gave Yeonwoo this spray in the hope that it would work. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo's father returned home after a long time, but before Yeonwoo's mother could be happy, she saw her husband pulling out his suitcase. Not only that, he also announced that the driver would give her the divorce agreement. When she heard him say that, she panicked and begged him not to go. As long as they didn't get a divorce, she wouldn't care who he had an affair with. She also thought that the woman who was pregnant with his child had passed away. Therefore, he could do whatever he wanted. He stared at his wife and suspected that she had murdered her lover. Since she refused to admit her guilt, he said that she was good at playing the victim to force others to stay by her side. This made him feel more disgusted with her than ever. On the way home, Yeonwoo received a call from his mother. She was crying and complaining about the divorce. He sadly went to Kang-hoon's shop to drink. He confided that many years ago he knew his parents would end up like this. Today, that day had finally come. His mood became complicated. Kang-hoon couldn't sympathize with Yeonwoo, so he just sat quietly beside her and drank. The next morning, Mihan came to find Yeonwoo to express her feelings. At the crucial moment, Yeonwoo received a call from Sojin. It turned out that Kang-hoon had cooked delicious food for Sojin and Hari, so Sojin wanted to call Yeonwoo to eat together. When the video was connected, Sojin hadn't had time to say anything when she saw Mihan approaching to say hello. So Sojin quickly found an excuse to end the video call. A woman appeared at a man's house early in the morning. This made Hari suspect that Mihan had slept at Yeonwoo's house. Kang-hoon wanted to call to clarify, but Sojin refused. Then she went jogging alone to relieve stress. Yeonwoo realized that Sojin would think too much, so he chased Mihan away and hurriedly ran out to find Sojin. Suddenly it started raining. Kang-hoon was worried that Sojin would get wet, so he also immediately went to look for her. Yeonwoo was the first to arrive and saw Sojin. Then he pulled her under the umbrella. He advised her not to pretend to be strong. If she was jealous, then say it. He would explain, because what she was thinking was not true. Sojin felt sad and hugged Yeonwoo's face, wishing that this face could be a little ugly. She wished he wasn't a doctor and didn't have money, because if that was true, he could only look at her. The two of them resolved their differences and walked together in the rain. Kang-hoon arrived late, and his heart was filled with pain when he saw that someone had come to Sojin before him. He had always been one step late like that. One step late to save Sojin's father. One step late to realize his feelings. If he could have realized his feelings earlier, he didn't know if the outcome would have been different. At this time, Sojin and Yeonwoo had finished their sweet date. Before saying goodbye, Yeonwoo called Sojin back and asked her if she had forgotten anything. Sojin, embarrassed, said that she had forgotten to say she loved Yeonwoo. Unexpectedly, the smile on Yeonwoo's face disappeared when he heard that. Then, he took out the things she had left in the car. Sojin shyly snatched her things back and watched him get in the car and leave. Yeonwoo understood that she also wanted to hear him say that he loved her, but since he was young, he had witnessed many things that prevented him from saying those words. His parents' broken marriage made him not dare to reciprocate her feelings. He was also unsure whether the two could continue together. Sojin was hurt by Yeonwoo's silence, so she went jogging by herself to release her emotions. The next day, she was full of energy again. Sojin, Hari and her colleagues discussed the love story between her and Yeonwoo. Sojin believed that Yeonwoo was her destined love. These words were heard by Mihan when she came to find Sojin. Mihan did not move forward, but took advantage of the moment when no one was paying attention to turn away. Sojin went to the hospital to find Yeonwoo, and she felt disappointed when she saw that he was not wearing the couple bracelet. Yeonwoo explained that he had taken the couple bracelet off while bathing and forgot to put it back on. She believed him. They discussed buying a pair of sneakers for their trip. However, Yeonwoo chose to avoid it. He only said that he would wear couple bracelets often in the future. Sojin began to investigate Yeonwoo's family situation. She thought that when two people are together, they need to understand each other's families. However, Yeonwoo flatly refused. He thought that Sojin was in love with him, not his family. After he finished speaking, he used work as an excuse to leave. Seeing that Yeonwoo was cold, Sojin confided in Hari. She became less and less daring to express her feelings in front of Yeonwoo because she was afraid that she would make him feel uncomfortable. She felt happy when she was with Yeonwoo, but after leaving him, she felt worried. The problem was that she had absolutely no idea what Yeonwoo was thinking. This created a very anxious situation. After listening, Hari thought that Yeonwoo was just joking. However, Sojin always hoped that Yeonwoo would show some affection. The next day, while Sojin was on her way to work, she texted while walking and accidentally bumped into the glass door. She sent Yeonwoo a photo of of her face with a band-aid on. Yeonwoo replied with a photo of the gene-enhancing spray. He asked her to go to the park to exercise after work, so Jin's bad mood immediately disappeared. After work, she happily went to the park. The two of them ran and joked around and quickly regained their sweetness. When Sojin saw Kang-hoon jogging, she realized that they were both wearing the same shirt. She complained that Kang-hoon should have asked her before wearing the shirt. She felt regretful because she bought one get one free, and then shared one with him. Yeonwoo stopped their childish argument and invited them to his house for dinner. Meanwhile, the two of them were in the kitchen, hugging each other. Kang-hoon felt bored, so he turned on the TV. He was surprised to see Mihan and Sojin's sister hosting a love show. In the kitchen, Yeonwoo asked Sojin to open the refrigerator to get abalone. When she opened the refrigerator, she accidentally saw a photo of Yeonwoo and Mihan. On the back of the photo was a line that said, "I hope Yeonwoo can cherish the time together." Kang-hoon noticed her hurt expression, so he immediately went to look at it and quickly hid the photo in his pocket. During the meal, Mihan read a letter from the audience on the show. In it, the audience shared that she liked to express her love through words and actions. However, her boyfriend did not respond. This always made her feel insecure, and she wanted to know if she should continue this relationship or not. This problem really reflected Sojin's inner feelings. Kang-hoon understood clearly what Sojin wanted. He took the opportunity to say that it was strange that girls had already expressed their love. The boys didn't. Yeonwoo refuted Kang-hyun's opinion. He thought that there were people who kept their love hidden in their hearts. They just needed to feel it with their hearts. Sojin argued that when they loved someone enough, they would naturally want to express it. The more often couples expressed their love, the deeper their love became. Yeonwoo stood by his point of view and explained to Sojin that some things were simple for others, but for some people, it was very difficult. Feeling the atmosphere was unnatural, Kang-hoon took the initiative to adjust. Kang-hoon teased Sojin by saying that she had started expressing her love since she was 4 years old. Hearing this, Sojin laughed along and got up to go to the bathroom to control her emotions. Kang-hoon took the opportunity to show a photo of Yeonwoo and Mihyun and informed Sojin that she had also seen it. After Yeonwoo finished reading it, he threw the photo on the table. He said that it made no difference whether the photo appeared in front of him or was thrown away. Kang-hoon was worried that Yeonwoo might also throw away the memory of Sojin in the same way. On the way home, Sojin felt sad. Kang-hoon didn't know how to comfort her, so he just stayed by her side silently. When he got home, Kang-hoon threw the same shirt as hers into the trash. However, as soon as he threw it away, he felt regretful. He tried to pull it out at all costs and hugged it like a treasure. At this time, Yeonwoo made an appointment to meet Mihyun. After that, he took out the photo and warned her not to do things that would make Sojin misunderstand. Mihyun still confessed to Yeonwoo, and she wanted to get back together with him. Not only that, Mihyun also told her that Sojin took DNA from Yeonwoo's sports shirt, and she discovered that they were a destined couple. After hearing this, Yeonwoo immediately gave a complicated smile. Mihyun then went to Sojin and challenged her. Mihyun said that both Sojin and Yeonwoo saw love as a game. No matter how interesting the game was, they wouldn't dare bet their lives. Sojin didn't believe that Yeonwoo was that kind of person. She affirmed that he was her destiny. Sojin then counterattacked and said that if Yeonwoo was really her destiny, he would do things he had never done for any other girl. Mihyun gave conditions to see if it was true. The first was that Yeonwoo would never use couple items. Sojin held up the couple bracelet to prove that this condition had been passed. Mihyun continued with the second condition, which was that Yeonwoo would never publicly reveal his girlfriend to his family or friends. However, this condition was also met because Yeonwoo's acquaintances at the research institute knew about their relationship. However, Sojin couldn't refute the next two conditions. The first is that he never mentioned his family to her, and the second is that he never said he loved her. However, Sojin still did not want to lose. She was determined to change her lover. Tomorrow was the day of her and Yeonwoo's beach trip. She was determined to achieve the remaining two conditions. The next day, the couple went to the beach. They happily played around in sweet moments. Only, Yeonwoo avoided taking pictures together. Every time Sojin raised her camera, he found an excuse to avoid it. When Sojin saw a mailbox on the beach, she pulled Yeonwoo aside and proposed the idea of writing letters to each other. In a year, Sojin wrote that she loved Yeonwoo very much. On the opposite side, Yeonwoo also finished writing a letter. When he was about to put the letter in the mailbox, he received a call from the hospital. Sojin took their two letters to put them in the box, but she accidentally saw that Yeonwoo's letter only said that he really didn't know who would be with her in a year. However, he hoped that it would be a man who loved her wholeheartedly. Only then did Sojin realize that Yeonwoo had never thought about their future. Even when they were together, he had mentally prepared for a breakup. She felt heartbroken and quickly ended this unhappy trip. On the way back, Yeonwoo felt dizzy and almost had an accident. Sojin reminded Yeonwoo that he had a gene that caused retinal degeneration mutation, so he needed to pay attention to his health. At the same time, Mihan was drinking water at Kang Hoon's shop. Sitting to one side, he was worried that she would be cold, so he woke her up. However, Mihan accidentally revealed a shocking secret related to the sports shirt that Sojin had experimented on. On that shirt, there was a sample of his DNA. That day, when Mihan and Yeonwoo talked about Sojin taking the sports shirt for the test, Yeonwoo sarcastically laughed and said that Sojin mistook his shirt for Kang Hoon's shirt, so the DNA on that shirt actually belonged to Kang Hoon. Kang Hoon was Sojin's destiny, not Yeonwoo. Kang Hoon was shot when he turned around and saw Sojin standing at the door. Sojin couldn't accept this unexpected truth. She remembered the times when she felt a strange connection between her and Yeonwoo, but in fact Kang Hoon was always there. Just because Sojin tried to find harmony with Yeonwoo, she accidentally ignored Kang Hoon. He was the one who was always by her side. Sojin didn't want to believe this truth, so she decided to try again. Sojin wanted to know if there really was a spiritual connection between her and Yeonwoo. She chose the same two locations as last time, and the two of them would go by themselves to see if they would meet. Yeonwoo used the same trick again. He asked his colleague to secretly follow Sojin and report her every move. After receiving the report from his colleague, he would follow that route. When Sojin was near the final location, she accidentally saw the figure of Yeonwoo's colleague, but she thought it was just a coincidence. When Sojin arrived, she immediately saw Yeonwoo. She was excited to believe that there was a special connection between the two of them, so she quietly approached him, hoping to surprise him. However, she accidentally heard him complaining on the phone to his colleague that the information was incorrect. Because he still hadn't seen Sojin, he thought that the colleague had reported wrongly. Sojin decided to keep her distance from Yeonwoo, so she made a phone call and pretended to be at another location. Yeonwoo immediately replied that he was driving to see her, but he got into a traffic accident on the way. He expected her to wait for him. When he hung up, he turned around and was surprised to see Snengwin Falenzi, Sojin standing right in front of him. The truth was revealed. He was forced to admit that there was no special connection. All the previous coincidences were arranged by him. He tried to explain that their feelings for each other had nothing to do with DNA. Sojin lost trust and could not accept this truth. Sojin criticized Yeonwoo for taking advantage of her trust to deceive her. She felt that she needed time to calm down. After those sad days, Yeonwoo's mother suddenly came to see Sojin. She said that from now on she would no longer lose weight or take care of her beauty because she realized that she could not hold on to a husband who did not love her. The only person she felt sorry for was her son, because over the years he had to witness his mother living in pain. That made him lose faith in love more than ever. Sojin did not know that this woman was Yeonwoo's mother. The next day, Yeonwoo received news that the family's flower greenhouse had burned down. His father passed away in the fire, while his mother was in a coma. It turned out that Yeonwoo's mother had proactively called his father home to discuss divorce. When he went to the greenhouse to find her, a fire suddenly broke out. The family broke up overnight, making Yeonwoo unable to accept this shock. After Yeonwoo finished his father's funeral, he went out to find a quiet place. Sojin and the others were very worried about Yeonwoo's condition. Finally, Yeonwoo texted that he had gone to a warm place to erase the sad memories. Suddenly, Sojin remembered the beach they had traveled to, and she quickly decided to go there without thinking much. Sojin immediately went to the beach and found Yeonwoo. She learned the truth about his mother at the funeral, so she told him what his mother had said. Seeing that he did not react, she touched his forehead. She realized that he had a high fever. Then she took him to the hotel to take care of him. Sojin stayed by Yeonwoo's side to take care of him. She hoped that he would overcome this pain. Yeonwoo revealed to Sojin about his childhood. He found out about his father's affair and saw his mother always suffering and neglecting him. Sojin texted Kang Hoon that she had found Yeonwoo and that they would stay there for the night. Then she fell asleep without realizing it. After Kang Hoon received the text, he felt uneasy, so he decided to go look for Sojin. However, when he arrived, he felt that he had worried for no reason. When Sojin woke up, Yeonwoo had already left. He only left a small note with a message of thanks and apology. Sojin wandered the streets alone in a lonely mood. She held the emergency call device that Kang Hoon had given her. She thought that even if she pressed the emergency call button, Kang Hoon would not be able to appear right there. But Kang Hoon suddenly appeared in front of her after she pressed the button. This surprised her very much. Kang Hoon did not say anything, but just pulled her hand to take her out to eat. Meanwhile, a man pasted pictures of Yeonwoo, his parents, and his father's lover on the wall. The pictures were marked with red X's, and the next target of that person was Yeonwoo. Sojin did not understand why Yeonwoo left without saying goodbye. The next day, Yeonwoo took the initiative to meet Sojin to return her couple bracelet, and he proposed to break up. He hoped that she would find happiness with her true partner, Kang Hoon. Sojin used food to ease the pain of the breakup, but memories of Yeonwoo kept appearing in her mind. The more she tried to forget, the more she missed. The more she wanted to let go, the more she couldn't let go. Kang Hoon saw Sojin suffering, so he took the initiative initiative to find Yeonwoo. Kang-hoon wanted to advise Yeonwoo not to let go easily. However, Yeonwoo decided for him that the more he was with Sojin, the more he loved her. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to keep his lifelong promise to her, so he believed that leaving early was the best choice for both of them. Kang-hoon tried to help Sojin overcome her pain by inviting her to go jogging. He also bought her a pair of light-up slippers that made her happy like a child. Kang-hoon decided not to miss out again. He asked Sojin's sister to help him choose clothes and do his hair. He wanted to appear before her with a new look. When Sojin saw Kang-hoon in a coat and holding a bouquet of flowers, she was stunned for a few seconds. It was only when Kang-hoon asked her out on a date that she calmed down. The two went to the skating rink together. Kang-hoon patiently taught Sojin how to skate. However, she kept remembering the sweet moments with Yeonwoo. There were memories that she tried to forget, but they still unintentionally appeared in her mind. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo asked his colleague to arrange a blind date. He did so to quickly forget Sojin. However, just one careless sentence from the other person was enough to make him miss Sojin again. Luckily, Mihan appeared in time and ruined the blind date. Mihan realized that Yeonwoo was just deceiving himself. She deliberately said that from now on she would stop having fleeting relationships. She decided to be with only one person. He understood what she meant, but he did not give any response. Kang-hoon took Sojin home after a romantic date. As Sojin approached the house, she saw the electric pole in front of the door with small lights. She knew right away that Kang-hoon had done this. Kang-hoon did not hide it and explained that the street lights were broken and he was worried that she would not be safe walking at night. Sojin was touched. She couldn't help but recall 4 years ago when she and he volunteered to participate in an experiment on the brain and perception. The researchers at the time thought that the two were a couple. They were surprised that the activity of the neurons in their brains was very similar. This showed that they had been exposed to similar things. They had almost identical sensory reactions. So Jin remembered that all these years, the person who had been by her side was Kang-hoon. Maybe she should seriously consider the DNA relationship between them. The next day, Yeonwoo performed surgery to deliver the fetus of a pregnant woman. This person had once intended to do something foolish, but thanks to Sojin's advice, she decided to live on. The baby was born healthy, but the mother lost a lot of blood. Her health condition became serious. Under Yeonwoo's dedicated treatment, the mother finally overcame the crisis. Yeonwoo once again witnessed the fragility of life. When he returned to his mother's hospital room, he suddenly remembered what his mother had said to Sojin. Yeonwoo did not want to suppress his emotions anymore. He was nervous and went to Sojin. However, when Yeonwoo just reached the intersection, he saw Sojin supporting Kang-hoon's father on the side of the road. Both of them were panicking because the TV news had just reported about a seriously injured firefighter. He had been taken to the emergency room. The two of them could not contact Kang-hoon, so they immediately panicked. Yeonwoo drove the two of them to the hospital. When they arrived, they saw several firefighters waiting at the door of the operating room. So Jin became even more worried. At that moment, Kang-hoon's voice rang out. So Jin turned around and saw Kang-hoon walking towards her. At that moment, So Jin remembered the scene where she cried in Kang-hoon's arms when her father passed away. That day was the most desperate day of her life. However, the forgotten memory erased everything that happened at that time. It also made her forget the person who was always by her side. That was Kang-hoon. Now that she was leaning on Kang-hoon, she realized that the person who always protected her and made her smile was him. When she raised her head, she found that Yeonwoo had left. Kang-hoon then hugged her and promised that he would always be by her side. Harry advised Kang-hoon to confess his feelings Sojin soon in order to help her get Yeonwoo out of her mind. After Kang-hoon heard these words, he felt the need to act immediately. That night, Kang-hoon invited Sojin to a place where couples meet. Every time their eyes met or every time they were close, his heart beat faster. However, Kang-hoon felt that Sojin still hadn't completely let go of Yeonwoo. For Kang-hoon, Sojin's feelings were the most important thing. He was willing to wait until she completely forgot about past. At this time, Yeonwoo participated in an activity at the orphanage. Here, he accidentally learned that his father had supported orphans for over 20 years. There was a boy in particular that he had always taken good care of. When Yeonwoo saw the boy's photo, he suddenly remembered that he had met the boy when he was young. At that time, he defended his mother and went to find his father's lover. The son of his father's lover chased after him. The boy asked Yeonwoo why you said such disrespectful things to my mother. At that time, Yeonwoo answered the boy that his mother was a shameful person. She had taken away the most important thing in Yeonwoo's family. From then on, Woo never saw the boy again. Yeonwoo never expected that the boy would always be the object of his father's support. At this time, a nun told Yeonwoo that the boy had now grown up and become a priest named Andrea. When mentioning this, Andrea happened to pass by. Yeonwoo remembered that this priest had been present at his father's funeral. Yeonwoo asked the other person if he remembered meeting them when they were young. However, Andrea replied replied that he had cut off all ties with the Thefrang past. Yeonwoo did not ask further, but he felt something strange. In fact, Yeonwoo did not know that Andrea had always been secretly watching his family. The fire that killed Yeonwoo's father was caused by Andrea. Andrea had affected the flower pot that Yeonwoo's mother had bought. When Yeonwoo's father entered the greenhouse, the flower pot immediately exploded. The entire greenhouse was burned down by the fire. Now Andrea is targeting Yeonwoo and Sojin. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo still doesn't realize the danger is approaching. At this time, Sojin is concentrating on her work when she suddenly receives a notice about volunteering. Only then does she remember that the two of them signed up for the activity together before breaking up. Sojin feels shy and wants to avoid Yeonwoo, so she thought about canceling her participation. However, the organizer informed her that she cannot cancel. Even though she participated, Sojin still tried to keep her distance from Yeonwoo. However, disaster suddenly struck when the two of them cleaned the canal together. Unexpectedly, she later discovered a beehive in the grass. When Yeonwoo heard her scream, he immediately told her not to make any noise and slowly backed away. Then he grabbed her hand and ran frantically. The two of them ran from the canal to the main road before stopping. Only then did they realize that their hands were still tightly holding each other. Sojin shyly let go. She was about to speak up to ease the tension when a bee stung her forehead. To prevent the venom from spreading, Yeonwoo carried Sojin to a nearby hospital. After breaking up, the two had intimate contact. Neither of them could calm down. That night, Yeonwoo asked Sojin how she felt when she found the DNA of love. Sojin awkwardly replied that she was very happy. The next day, when Sojin returned, Kang-hoon was waiting for her at the pickup point. When Kang-hoon saw Sojin get out of the car, he immediately took care of her wound. Yeonwoo saw the two close friends leave, and he could only feel heartbroken. Mihan cleverly suggested the idea of living together with Yeonwoo because they were both lonely and could be friends. However, Yeonwoo frankly said that he could not forget and could not let go of Sojin. He also felt very regretful for taking the initiative to break up. Mihan gave Yeonwoo one last. She advised him to go find Sojin and confess his feelings. If he received a reply from Sojin, she would not bother him anymore. However, if he was rejected by Sojin, he would have to return to her. That night, Yeonwoo gathered all his courage to find Sojin and confide in her. After the breakup, he always felt regretful and often thought back to that night when they were together. In the end, he begged her to give him another chance. Although Sojin had not completely let go of her feelings, she refused Yeonwoo's request. When Yeonwoo was about to say more, Kang-hoon suddenly appeared. Kang-hoon hoped that Yeonwoo would not disturb Sojin's mind anymore. Kang-hoon then took Sojin back inside. Kang-hoon was afraid that he would miss his chance again, so he finally confessed his feelings to Sojin. After he finished speaking, he approached her. She reflexively jumped away. She accidentally dropped the flower pot on the table, causing it to break into pieces. When Kang-hoon cleaned up, he was shocked to find oil and sodium underneath the flower pot. It turned out that Andrea had taken advantage of the moment when no one was looking and placed the flower pot in front of Sojin's house. He also left a card with Kang-hoon's name on it. Sojin thought it was a gift from Kang-hoon, so she took the flower pot home. Andrea had calculated carefully but did not expect the flower pot to break. Kang-hoon saw a card with his name on it in the flower pot, and he realized that the situation was very serious. However, to not worry Sojin, he lied and said that the flower pot was a gift from him. Before leaving, she frankly expressed her thoughts. She hoped Kang-hoon would give her a little more time. Hearing this, Kang-hoon also promised that he would wait until Sojin completely forgot about Yeonwoo. The next day, Kang-hoon took the oil and sodium from the flower pot to conduct an experiment. As expected, these two substances exploded when they met water. Then he started looking for a flower shop that sold this potted plant. Through the store's import records, he found the supplier's address. Because he wanted to ensure Sojin's safety, he bought a large box of mini fire extinguishers and other self-defense tools. Then he told her to carry these items with her. At this time, Yeonwoo decided to quit his job to take his mother abroad for medical treatment. Yeonwoo informed Kang-hoon of his departure. At the same time, Yeonwoo also entrusted Sojin to Kang-hoon to take care of. Then, Yeonwoo made an appointment to meet Mihan at the restaurant where they first met to officially say goodbye. Mihan wanted to go with Yeonwoo. Wherever she went, she wanted to be with him. But Yeonwoo rejected Mihan's intention. Right now, he could only consider her a friend. Therefore, the two of them could not go further. Kang-hoon thought for a long time and finally decided to tell Yeonwoo about the potted plant. After Kang-hoon analyzed, he realized that Sojin had no grudge against him. Therefore, Kang-hoon suspected the person who wanted to harm Sojin might be related to Yeonwoo's father's death. So Yeonwoo thought about the suspicious people around him. The thoughts of Andrea appeared, making Yeonwoo feel strange. So Yeonwoo immediately stood up to investigate the details about Andrea. When Yeonwoo went to the gardening supplies supplier, he realized that there were many identical pots of plants. Yeonwoo also found a photo in a book. It was a photo taken with Andrea and everyone in the church. What terrified Yeonwoo Woo the most was that there were many photos of his family on the wall. In the middle was a portrait of Sojin. When Kang Woo saw Sojin's photo crossed out, he had a feeling that something bad was about to happen. Woo immediately called Sojin, but could not contact her. He ran back to the restaurant and saw that the restaurant had also received a similar potted plant. After destroying the potted plant, he realized that someone had just brought it, so he immediately chased outside and saw Andrea's figure. Kang Hoon ran after Andrea, but he quickly escaped. Seeing that, Kang Hoon immediately went to the church to wait to catch Andrea. At this time, Woo had information when the priest arrived at the orphanage. Woo knew that Andrea also had a twin brother. Woo recalled the conversation with Andrea and suddenly discovered that although they looked identical through their reactions when talking, he could tell that the two meetings were not the same person. The nun said that the younger brother was quickly adopted when he arrived at the orphanage. However, it was unclear why the boy was returned. Surprisingly, after being returned, the younger brother set fire to his adoptive parents' house. After that, the boy was involved in many consecutive arson cases. This proved that the boy was a problem child. Woo immediately understood that the fire in his family was caused by Andrea's younger brother, so the urgent thing now was to find out where the other party was. At the same time, Kang Hoon went to the church and saw Andrea holding a mass. The time on the calendar said the mass would start at 7 p.m., but when Kang Hoon saw Andrea at the restaurant door, it was already past 7 p.m. Kang Hoon investigated the people around him and learned that Andrea had just started the mass because of personal matters. Hearing this, Kang Hoon was even more certain that Andrea was the culprit. After the mass ended, Kang Hoon approached and questioned Andrea. However, Andrea was completely unaware. Hari was Andrea's acquaintance and confirmed that she had been with him all day. She could confirm that he had postponed the mass due to poor health. He had not gone out. Kang Hoon showed the photo taken in the garden to prove that Andrea was the culprit. Now he continues to silently harm others. Andrea suddenly felt a severe headache. His younger brother's words kept coming back to him. He painfully reminded Kang Hoon that he had to stop everything, or else there would be a fire or someone would die. However, it was too late. When Sojin returned home alone, Andrea's younger brother covered her mouth. He then beat her unconscious. He then took her to the flower shop where his mother used to work and sent a message asking Woo to come save her. The location was where the two first met. At the same time, Andrea told Kang Hoon that the one who did the bad thing was his twin brother. Moreover, Andrea emphasized that Kang Hoon must stop him or else he would continue to harm others. Hearing Andrea's words, Kang Hoon immediately called Sojin, but he couldn't connect with her. The feeling of unease in his heart grew. Kang Hoon decided to go to Andrea's younger brother's nursery to look for clues. Kang Hoon quickly discovered the paintings on the wall. Kang Hoon informed Andrea of the last location on the map and asked if there were any suspicious places nearby. Hearing that, Andrea replied that his mother's flower shop was nearby. Kang Hoon immediately ran there. He also told Andrea and Hari to call the police. At this time, Woo followed his childhood memories and went to the appointed place. Seeing Sojin tied to a chair, Woo worriedly asked about her situation. However, Andrea's younger brother suddenly knocked Woo down from behind and tied him up. Andrea's younger brother then revealed all the secrets about his life and his brother. In the past, Woo came to his house and blamed his mother for stealing Woo's father. Then Woo said that their whole family was immoral. At that time, Andrea's younger brother learned that his mother was dating a married man. At that time, he intended to go find his biological father to take revenge, but his mother stopped him. She said that Woo's father treated her well. He was not like her ex-husband. He also promised to divorce. Andrea's younger brother thought that his mother's interference in other people's family was immoral, so he pushed his mother away and ran away. His mother fell to the ground, and soon a candle on the table fell. The fire broke out from flammable objects. He witnessed his mother die in the fire. In the end, he blamed everything on Woo and the father. After he finished his mother's funeral, he swore to take revenge for his mother. When Andrea's younger brother grew up, he saw Woo's father living a happy life, so he asked if he still remembered me. However, Woo's father no longer remembered him. When he revealed his identity, Woo's father warned him that past was over, so he should not appear in front of me. Andrea's younger brother was full of hatred. First, he killed Woo's father's lover. Then he continued to kill Woo's father. Woo's mother was injured when she rushed into the fire to save her husband. After Andrea's younger brother revealed the truth, he poured gasoline on the ground. When the appointed time came, he set fire to the flower pot. The entire flower shop was on fire. Woo untied Sojin, then he protected her and dragged her out. In the face of life and death, the two of them cared for each other very much. Not long after, Kang Hoon and the police arrived to rescue them. Kang Hoon fought with Andrea's younger brother in the fire to protect Sojin. In the end, he was knocked to the ground by Kang Hoon. Kang Hoon intended to drag him out so that he could live and be punished by the law. But at that moment, Andrea's younger brother suddenly saw his mother's figure appear in the sea of fire. So he pushed Kang Kang-hoon away and slowly walked into the fire. Sojin and Yeonwoo were rescued and taken to the hospital in time. Kang-hoon then regretfully informed Andrea that his brother had died. When Andrea heard Kang-hoon say that, he felt sadder than ever. He had become a priest just to atone for his brother's sins, but he did not expect that things would go to the point of no return. So Jin woke up and learned that Yeonwoo had been taken to the operating room. She was heartbroken and blamed herself for Yeonwoo being injured when he tried to protect her. The surgery ended. Yeonwoo was not in danger of death. However, in the fire, while saving Sojin, Yeonwoo leaned his hand on the burning railing. That incident caused his right hand to be severely burned, so he could no longer hold a scalpel. That night, Sojin visited Yeonwoo. Through this, she realized that she could not forget him. She was about to persuade him not to go to America when suddenly, Mihan and his colleagues entered. Yeonwoo's mother also woke up. She didn't want to live those depressing days anymore. That's why she decided to start a new life with Yeonwoo somewhere else. Mihan understood that Yeonwoo had never let go of Sojin, so she informed Sojin of his time abroad. Mihan hoped that the two could meet and say everything they needed to say so that they wouldn't become unforgettable regrets in each other's hearts. When Yeonwoo was about to fly, Sojin hurriedly chased him to the airport. However, she couldn't see his figure, so she cried in pain. Unfortunately, Yeonwoo had already boarded the plane and taken off. The two missed their appointment again. Because Sojin was heartbroken, she got a fever. Kang-hoon was there to take care of her and give her medicine. When her fever went down, he took the initiative to leave. He was no longer the same as before, always clinging to her. When he left, he felt sad. He didn't know what to do with the feelings he had for her. Then he wandered to a roadside bar. He happened to meet Mihan there. Mihan asked if he and Sojin could progress in their relationship now that Yeonwoo was no longer an obstacle. Kang-hoon needed someone to confide in, so he invited Mihan to drink and chat. He told her that he had always thought that when Yeonwoo left, he would have a chance to win Sojin's heart. He could make her fall in love with him. However, after witnessing what had just happened, he realized that Sojin could not let go of that love. Sojin's love for Yeonwoo would not change just because of distance. After all, Sojin only had friendship or family feelings for Kang-hoon, so he thought maybe he should let go at this time. Mihan also realized this after her feelings for Yeonwoo. She thought that even if they did everything to make each other happy, if the other person did not need it, it would become a burden. So letting the person you like choose for themselves is a way to show respect to them. Then, Sojin asked Kang-hoon to go to the place where they often went when they were young. The moment they met was filled with childhood memories. Sojin immediately confided all her feelings to Kang-hoon. Now she feels extremely regretful for relying on her genetic code to find the true love of her life. Sojin realized that her actions had caused Yeonwoo too much pain. That's why she will definitely wait for him to come back to make up for her past mistakes. What Sojin has been saying is exactly what Kang-hoon predicted. Although Kang-hoon was very sad when he saw Sojin like that, he also felt relieved when she was able to face her feelings. After a while of confiding, the two finally gave each other a sincere hug. This hug was the milestone to end their short love affair. When Sojin left, Kang-hoon was still sitting there thinking about the past. At this moment, Kang-hoon suddenly saw Mihan also taking a walk to relieve his mood. He admitted that he had just been rejected outright. Now that he thought about it, he suddenly felt ridiculous. He always did everything to take care of others without caring whether they needed it or not. In the end, even though he tried very hard, he did not receive sincere feelings from anyone. When Mihan heard Kang-hoon say that, she thought he was a good man. It was just that he had not found his destiny yet. Besides Sojin, there were many other girls around him waiting for him to take care of them. Every word Mihan uttered contained hidden meanings. Kang-hoon understood everything. The moment he suddenly looked at her, her heart suddenly skipped a beat. Time passed quickly. Yeonwoo decided to return to her hometown. This time, when he returned, he chose to live and work in a rural area. Because he was assigned by the research institute, Sojin also went to that rural area. She would conduct free genetic tests for the elderly there. Although they were in the same place, they did not know of each other's presence. A few days later, because Sojin had to return to receive the test results, she once again appeared in this rural area. At this moment, an extremely familiar voice suddenly rang out from behind her. When she turned around, the familiar face she had always been looking forward to appeared. Meeting each other after a year apart, the two were filled with joy and excitement. The emotions in their hearts felt like they were about to explode. However, both of them tried to suppress the longing in their hearts. Everything had passed a long time ago, but up to now, Yeonwoo still felt guilty. Because of Yeonwoo, Sojin almost lost her life. That was why he did not dare to take a step closer to her. Shyness also prevented Sojin from asking Yeonwoo about what had happened during the year they were apart. She didn't know if there was any other woman by his side now. After such a long time, it was time for the two of them to say goodbye. That night, Sojin thought about it so much that she couldn't sleep even a little bit. She thought that this was the time to start over. She definitely wouldn't miss this opportunity. That same night, she wrote a postcard to the person she loved. So, Jin hoped that after he received this postcard, two of them could start over. The next morning, Sojin went alone to the mailbox by the beach where she and he had written letters to each other a year ago. As soon as Sojin arrived, she was surprised to see Yeonwoo standing there. She calmly read to him all the thoughts she had written in the letter. As soon as he left, she realized that she was really wrong in only looking for love based on genetic code. Because of her own stubbornness, she missed his feelings for her. Now Sojin has thrown aside the so-called genetic code and she wants to be with Yeonwoo once more, this time forever for the rest of her life. For the past year, not a single day has passed that Yeonwoo has not thought about Sojin's figure. The two of them hugged each other tightly to feel each other's heartbeat. On a TV show, Mihan confidently declared that she had given up the love ideology she had previously pursued. She expressed her desire to experience the feeling of truly loving someone. She longed to learn how to love with someone and feel love from that person. The moment Mihan turned around, Kang-hoon was standing there with a bouquet of flowers and smiling brightly at her. That smile was what moved her. That boy had completely changed her life. This drama ends here. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you again.